welcome to Edge of Empire. This is episode 14th of our 7th year. And tonight, it's just me and Chris. Graham has been sent on a intensive and secret course at GCHQ. So we couldn't have him tonight, I'm afraid. But that does mean you get what essentially are the two Ronnies of this show. So I thought I'd open out with some of those jokes. So you got Chris Mills, and I'm going to start off with two Ronnie jokes. So first of all, let's go with a classic Ronnie Barker joke. Okay. Have you heard the one about the retired general who said he'd not had sex since 1956? His friend said, "That's a long time." "I don't know," the general replied. "It's only 2027 now."
Very good.
Okay. Yep, brilliant. Okay.
It's good. It's a good joke.
And Ronnie Corbett one. There was a fire at the main Inland Revenue Office in London today, but it was put out before any serious good was done.
I like them both. I like them both.
Yeah, they are.
You can't beat
the two Ronnies, can you?
Yeah.
They're like Morecambe and Wise.
Well, yeah, very much. Without the singing and dancing element.
True, yeah, but they're just very, very funny. They're all funny.
Famous British comedy duos. They're very much in the same wheelhouse.
Yes, very much so. Anyway, tonight we're going to look at the most perfect army of the Heresy, the Emperor's Children, and then we're going to create some lists based about them. I wrote my list like 2 weeks ago, so I'm forgetting what's in it now, but it's terrible. Okay, so shall we crack on and just go through this? Well, not go through this, but talk about this. I'll hand over to Chris, and he'll introduce us to the Legion.
Okie dokie. The Emperor's Children. The Third Legion, renowned for their martial prowess, aesthetic sensibilities, and pursuit of perfection in all aspects of war and culture. They would have definitely appreciated your jokes and the two Ronnies.
Absolutely. They're absolutely would be the two Ronnies Legion.
Oh, there's an idea. The Third Legion were initially among the most loyal and disciplined of the Emperor's warriors. Led by Fulgrim, the Legion's tragic descent into chaos was marked by a pursuit of excess and perfection. Oh, we've all been there for Friday evening every time. And that ultimately led them down a dark and corrupted path, embracing the chaos god Slanesh. The Emperor's children became twisted devotees of pleasure, sensation, and artistic excess. Hello, Graham. Their once noble ideals now are tainted. They sought gratification through the most extreme and debauched forms of warfare. In the age of darkness, we delve into this legion as it grappled with internal strife, betrayal, and the seductive lure of chaos. The Emperor's children are characterized by their extravagant and hedonistic style, both in terms of their battlefield tactics and their unique units, reflecting the corruption that has consumed them as they fight along their fallen brethren. The Emperor's children embody the tragic downfall of a once noble legion, now ensnared in the dark embrace of chaos. And that's just pretty much spot on.
Yes, it took me like a week and a half to write just that couple of paragraphs.
That's very good. It's beautifully written. Yeah, they are an odd because they have that association, I think, from when GW was perhaps less child friendly.
Oh yeah,
and late 80s, early 90s kind of GW where all bets are off kind of vibe.
When they played actual heavy metal in the stores.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Not only that, it was heavy metal they actually published, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's it. They just have that sort of lingering hangover of slightly in real world debauchery, I suppose, is kind of people think, oh, actually, if you're into them, you're into that kind of
vibe.
Mind
you, I do like how Was it Graham McNeil who wrote Fulgrim? I forget now. Kind of took it from the simple sex, drugs, rock and roll into a very into a more nuanced kind of thing, like perfection. Seeking perfection in artistic endeavors and.
Like I say, it was Graham McNeil, yeah.
And Josh Reynolds did the Primarch's book, so.
I think there's the old models. They're always rock
Leopard
poses,
skin,
guitar, yeah.
Well, the modern noise marine that GW
yeah,
sells.
absolutely.
Yeah, but...
Very cool. All right, Mr. B, shall we get into
the rules?
Rules.
Okay, so we got the Legion rules as normal, but the Emperor's Children actually have two sets of rules. They have, for their primary rules, they got Legion Astartes and Legion Hereticus. So one is prior to their fall into complete debauchery and just becoming Chaos Marines, and the other is, after that. So I'm going to start with the Legion Astartes rule. Their main rule is flawless execution. So on a turn where a successful charge is executed, even if it's disordered, the Emperor's Children launch their assaults with attacks at initiative step 1 higher than usual, factoring in any modifiers and special rules. So, and that means when vehicles engage in shooting attacks as part of a reaction, defensive weapons receive a +1 bonus to hit rolls. Now, you have to forgive me, I haven't double checked this against the FAQ, so if I get anything wrong, I'm sure someone will send me a horrible email. So
I've got the FAQs to hand. So
yes. So this means that Emperor's Children units that are Legionis Astartes will strike more swiftly than their counterparts, and unwieldy strength ×2 weapons will now strike at initiative 2 instead of 1, allowing them to eliminate multi-wound models before they get before facing retaliation. So that's a real edge for them, and that realistically means that you are going to want to encourage anything other than cataphractii armor, because the loss of saves is less of an issue when casualties are avoided by preemptively killing the other unit, and the ability to and they have the ability to recover from a sweeping advance, which prevents the need to the unit again after it's rallied. So, and then if you look at the two melee units for the Emperor's Children that they've got Tartarus and Artificer armor. So yeah, you want to do sweeping advances, you want to charge.
Yeah,
don't want cataphractii armor.
Yeah, I mean, you're right as far as this is why I took the clause with my Custodes guys, because if your opponent you kill, the less saves you're gonna have to make.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not be the most powerful weapon on occasion, but if it does enough of the job, then you're, and say if you're doing it with thunder hammers and all that sort of nonsense, then nothing's gonna.
Yeah, any advantage you can get in initiative is absolutely undeniably superb in this game, and I think they really benefit from that.
I'm gonna come out of this with a new Legion again, aren't I?
Oh, I know. Oh, they're really good at they are really good at melee, and I think that.
Yeah. Oh no, this is gonna be a disaster. Okay.
We'll protect you.
Right.
What about the Hereticus rules?
So, follow the resolution of shooting attack against a unit entirely comprised of models possessing this special rule and not in the process of falling back. The unit has the potential to become stupefied. Stupefied status entails certain restrictions and benefits. The affected unit is incapable of reacting, limited to firing only snapshots, and treats all charges as disorganized. However, it gains +1 strength and +6 damage mitigation roll against non-instant death effects. If the unit was fearless, that becomes a 5+. Additionally, the unit becomes immune to concussive and blind, is exempt from morale and ping checks in the movement and shooting phases, but must adhere to morale checks in the assault phase. Notably, enemies charge stupefied units at normal initiative, even when charging through cover. The stupefied state persists until the end of the controlling player's turn. Until the end of the controlling player's next turn, or if the unit falls back due to failing a morale check in the assault phase.
I don't really understand why you would want this. I mean, I get it. It's basically they're numb from the effects of the drugs or whatever they're taking, but I can't see any reason why you would want to take this.
Okay, it's a plus 1 strength. I mean,
compared to
if you're trying to think, it's not suffering any loss to its initiative or anything like that.
Yeah.
So if you're facing something that's tougher than you, say if you're a tac squad and you come up against Terminators, or Dreadnought's going to instant death you. So say Terminators with claws or not
power sword,
hammers or fists. I mean, in that instance, I think it's useful because you're getting that plus 1 strength to attack them back, and everyone loves effectively a free feel no pain. Just trying to think.
I mean, just for me, I just can't see any reason why I would want to take it, which might surprise you given my list later on. But...
No, I can see a use for it.
It's just less so than the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more of a defensive ability than an offensive ability.
Yeah, so it really switches around what the Legion is. It goes from being we will hit you as soon as we see you to we are going to sit here and just take a beating.
Yeah, I can see a use for it. I don't know if out of those two, that'd be the one that I would choose. But if I'm playing traitors, I haven't got a choice. So,
no, you do have a choice.
Oh yeah, because
one is simply before the fall, and one is simply after the fall. So
gotcha.
One is prior to Angel Exterminators, I guess, and the other is post Angel Exterminators.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think will probably be the right way to say it, because Legion of Hereticus is the one that basically means you have to. Well, you don't have to, but it encourages the use of taking Fulgrim.
Yeah.
So, Demon Fulgrim, that is.
Demon Fulgrim.
So, anyway, so moving on, you've got the Phoenicians' Hubris within there as well. So basically, this is again with the Hereticus. You've got basically the detachment is restricted from taking Phoenix Warden Consuls and Phoenix Guard in lieu of living icons / Phoenix Retinue, and are bestowed with Fallen from Grace special rule. So Fallen from Grace basically gives you a 1+ bonus combat resolution for Phoenix Guard when they're within 6 inches of another Emperor's Children unit, escalating to a 2+ bonus if they're within 6 inches of Demon Fulgrim. So I guess we move on to the rules that they have within that unit when we get to that unit, but basically they are slightly less good than they were. I guess. But still, a +1 to combat resolution. Nothing to be sniped at, given that their armament and that they're very good at. And +2 when within 6 inches. 6 inches of Demon Fulgrim. It's not bad. But again, I think that's something we'll talk about a bit more when we actually come to the unit.
Yeah, so I was just looking at the Phoenix Wardens, and
they're really good troops. But they're not as good in the Hereticus list. But combat resolution. A bonus to combat resolution is nothing to be sniffed at. It's just not as good as what they have before with the living icons thing. Because I think it would, again, I'm looping ahead of it, but in the Hereticus form, it's more about they need to be supported by other parts of the Legion, army, whereas in the normal form, it's they support other parts of the army.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's probably the best way of putting it. Okay. And then what about exemplars of war?
Yeah, we take the Paragon of Excellence, all the Broken Mirror as your warlord trait, unless Fulgrim is in the army. So, just carrying a quick. Once we cover these, at
Yeah,
this
I'll be
point,
following them shortly. Yeah, so basically, you get a limit to your
Yeah,
right.
you've only got 3 choices, so you basically can't take Martyrs of Istvan, which is obviously loyalist only, which makes sense. Paragon of Excellence. So,
Yeah, so you're restricted to the 2 non-loyalist, army specific warlord traits, which isn't necessarily that bad a thing because I don't think they're actually that bad.
No, warlord gets +1 weapon skill. Yeah, cool. Right, we'll come on to those very shortly.
You will. They get 2 advanced reactions, one for Astartes and one for Hereticus. So I'll do the Astartes one, which is the perfect counter. So once per battle, Emperor's children targeted by a charge in the assault phase have the option to attempt a charge roll in response. So if the Emperor's children roll equals or surpasses the attacker's roll, they immediately initiate a charge, reaping all the associated benefits and nullifying the attacker's charge. So basically, you get to charge them, you get the extra attack, and all of that jazz, which is great. And in the event the reacting player's charge roll falls short of the enemy's unit, the reacting unit can opt to execute a shooting attack before the charge takes place. So basically, even if you fail, you still get to shoot them. So that's not bad. It's risky, but it could be really decisive in a battle. So you basically, because you've already got melee bonuses, which and basically you're essentially going into them, it's really, really good. But yeah, it's a really nice reaction. I think it's one of the better ones in the game.
Yeah, I mean, stealing someone's charge effectively is. I suppose it's giving you counter charge, or counterattack, but full on counterattack as opposed to.
Yeah. And they don't get the extra attack.
Yeah.
So you're taking away one of their attacks, and you're and even if you fail, if you've got a combi melter or 2 in that unit, that's not bad. You get to shoot with it still.
Oh well. If the charge distance roll is lower than enemy unit, the reactive player may choose to have the unit make a shooting attack. So you can still potentially. You can't. No, a unit can't do 2.
No, but you still get your Overwatch. Basically, if you fail the charge, you still get to make a shooting attack.
Yes, yeah. You can't do both.
You can't do both. It's one or the other. If you succeed, you charge them, and you stop and you negate any of their bonuses. And if you fail, you still get to make it essentially a Overwatch attack.
Yeah,
which I think is not too shabby at all.
Yeah, it's going to be that thing of may make a shooting attack. So does that include potentially Fury of the Legion?
I would assume it does, because Fury of the Legion is for a shooting attack.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
It's not limited to the shooting phase, is it?
Nope. Well, no, it's just double checking, because sometimes these things get FAQ'd, but I cannot see it. So
as far as I'm aware, you can Overwatch anytime you shoot.
As long as you've
Sorry, not Overwatch. Fury of the Legion anytime you shoot, including through an Overwatch, which is great. So it's not terrible, is it?
No, I like that. I think that's really useful.
Okay. What about the Twisted Desire? This
has got some. So once per battle, when a unit comprises of monsters is with the Legion Hereticus Emperor's Children special rule is targeted by a shooting attack during an opponent's shooting phase, the unit instantly enters stupefied.
Yep.
The supervised status activated prior to resolving the shoot attack. Unit gains a +2 bonus to supervised damage mitigation rolls against the. So you're doing it on a 4+ as opposed to a 6+?
Yeah, basically.
Why?
Well, I think it's basically a defensive.
The supervised status is activated prior to. But why would you get a +2? Because it's only a 6+.
Because you've taken the reaction.
Does the reaction say you get +2?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the reaction is actually better than the normal.
Yeah.
Stupefy attack. Okay,
She is slightly better.
Okay. 4+ FNP.
Yeah, which isn't too bad, is it?
It's not too bad, no. But if I'm taking either of those two, I'm only
the first one.
I'm only ever taking the perfect counter.
Yeah,
because...
but unfortunately, you can't take that when Hereticus. Again, the argument for Hereticus is not that great, which is a shame because I really think the idea of Hereticus is cool, but there's a lot to it that's not great. Anyway.
When we say Hereticus, old boy, what are you meaning by Hereticus?
All right, basically,
because you're not meaning
when you form
the book,
when you form your army, Emperor's
yes.
Children, you choose to take them under the Legionis Astartes Emperor's Children rule or Legionis Hereticus Emperor's Children rule. Legionis Hereticus rules are in the Siege of Cophonia. I know it's confusing because the book is
just clearing it up for people listening, going.
Yeah,
what is he on about?
There's 2 books. Hereticus book, which only covers the Legionis Astartes rules, and the not Siege of Cophonia, Exemplary Battles Volume 1, which covers Legionis Hereticus. I wish they choose a different name, like I don't know, Legionis Fallen or something. No, that
So when we're talking about Hereticus going forwards on this list, what we mean is Exemplary Battles.
It's a daft name when they called the book Hereticus.
Just clearing it up for the people at home who are probably spent the last 5 minutes shouting at their
There's
devices going, what are you blathering on about, you maniacs?
We actually delayed this episode because there are 2, because that book came out and then it's taken a bit of time to absorb it because it's not the easiest, I think.
I just can't.
If it's Hereticus, it refers to the rules in Exemplary Battles. If it's Astartes, it refers to the rules in Hereticus.
Yeah.
The manatees were having a day that day.
It's not the best. Not the best work.
Okay. Right. In which case, I'll start with the warlord traits. This is always the fun one. So so there's 3 warlord traits out of any legion. One of them is traitor only, one of them is loyalist only, and one of them can be taken by both. Because the Emperor's Children rule book has them. The rules originally when they were released back in the 1st edition, you could take a loyalist Emperor's Children army because you could take them as they were at Isfahan 3, which was the first book, wasn't it? Yes. God, I remember I queued up at Games Day for that book.
Back in the good old days.
Is that 2012? Crikey. Anyway, no, might be 2013. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, first warlord trait, traitor only, the Broken Mirror. Now, this trait is activated when a friendly unit consisting of more than one model and is located within 12 inches of a warlord possessing the trait, including the warlord and any unit is joined, fails a morale check. Instead of retreating, the unit without the warlord must endure 1 unpreventable wound allocated by its controlling player. And following resolution of the wound, the unit is deemed to have successfully passed the morale check and can proceed as normal. And additionally, if the warlord remains alive, the army with this warlord trait gains an extra reaction during the opposing player's shooting phase. It's a strong one because you don't need to risk morale check failures anymore and retreating. And, it does introduce the ability to entangle powerful enemies like Primarchs. So, for example, you could take your chosen warriors and just basically eliminate You know, but yeah. So
sorry,
you basically would, if you, the way I'm looking at it is, if I was doing this, I would have 2 units going up against the Primarch. One of just, you know, bods, and one of your chosen warriors and that. So you can get into your Primarchs. You can just eliminate one of the tactical squad guys instead of having to fail a morale check potentially.
Yeah.
And you can keep that Primarch basically in the combat for a bit longer. At least that's the way I've interpreted it.
Messenger unit without the Warlord. Messenger 1. Unfettered. Following organization disappointed. You pass the morale check. Okay. Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yes. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
I rarely do.
My screen, the dock stopped working, and it was taking a while to reload on me, unfortunately.
Okay. What about Martyrs of Istvan then?
Martyrs.
I think I did a bit of maths on this one.
Good Lord, help us all. A Warlord position in this trait, along with all models and Emperor's Children unit joined by the Warlord, receive a +1 bonus to all hit rolls while engaged in combat with an enemy unit that possesses any version of Legio Astartes special rule and holds the traitor allegiance. Additionally, the army led by this Warlord gains the ability to make an extra reaction during the opposing player's assault phase, provided the Warlord remains alive.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I can see maths. This melee focused Warlord trait significantly enhances your unit's effectiveness in close combat. Notably, it allows a weapon skill 4 unit, such as Terminators equipped with Initiative 2 Thunderhammers or Palatine Blades with Initiative with +1 attack and 51 Phoenix Rapier attacks on the charge.
I may have got. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Ignore that. 51. That should be 5.
Yeah. So you've been a. I was just so much like that's a lot of shot to even.
Yeah.
That's my favorite army's level of output.
Yeah.
Come on, brain. There we go. Phoenix Paladin Guard. Where are they? Phoenix Terminators, just very quickly.
Yeah. To basically, a weapon skill 4 unit is now going to hit weapon skill 5, 6, and 7 opponents on a 4+.
Well, Palatine Blades are weapon skill 5 anyway, so we're doing weapon skill 6 effectively.
Palatine Blades.
Yeah.
Oh no, Palatine Blade was a weapon. Phoenix Guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Phoenix Guard have a weapon skill 5. So Palatine Blade is it's just a weapon type that they can basically.
Yeah, it's also a unit, a unit type. That's it.
Oh, is it? No, actually, I might be wrong. I'm thinking of Phoenix Power weapons.
Yeah, Phoenix Power Spears are a whole kettle of fish. They're +2. Strength.
Too many P's.
Too many P's. Too many things beginning with P. But
your charge
more effectively strike with higher weapon skill. Yeah, absolutely. Can now.
Weapon skill 5 unit, as I worked out here, is going to hit you those weapon skill 5. 5 and below on a 2-up, and 6, 7, and 8 on a 4-up.
Yeah.
Praetors will hit other Praetors on a 3-up, and anything under that on a 2-up.
Yeah. It's pretty useful.
And they're going to do all right against Primarchs as well. 4-up, I think.
Maybe more than that, depending on. I don't think if it's on a Praetor's. What's a Praetor these days?
Yeah, Praetor hitting on a 4-up,
6.
I think.
Man, skips the page. What's the average Praetor weapon skill? Centurion is 5. Praetor, where are you little cheeky W? Praetor's 6. And let's take a random Primarch. I'll
go for Fulgrim.
Well,
they really wanting to hit Fulgrim.
They would really want to hit Fulgrim. You're absolutely correct. I'm going to do Magnus is 6. Magnus is 7, so they'd be going up 4s to hit each other before any sort of shenaniganery that Magnus might want to. Mortarion, so they've been doing 4s against hitting on 4s against Primarchs, which isn't too bad. And then taking 4s in return, which is even better. So
I mean, the only reason that I can see taking a loyalist army is a problem is because you are essentially excluded from a few squads. You're excluded from most of the characters. So, and the Primarch, but it's a choice.
Absolutely. It's always a choice, but you do get sort of it, don't you? So
yes, they do. It's awesome.
That's the one they get.
Okay, so the last one is the generic Warlord trait, Paragon of Excellence. So any friendly unit within 12 inches, including the Warlord himself, and any unit is adjoined that successfully passes a morale check, they gain +1 weapon skill boost until the end of the controlling player's next turn. It can only be triggered once per game turn for a single unit. And the army led by this Warlord gets an extra reaction during the opposing player's movement phase as long as the Warlord is alive. It's not terrible if you think about it, because you've got you've got the hold the line reaction, a generic reaction, which is going to help with that. So you say if you get an opponent that charges their weapon skill 4 unit into your weapon skill unit, using hold the line knocks your weapon skill up to 5, and the adjustment sort of hampers the opponent, so they reduce their ability to hit you unit to a 6+, which could be better if you're aided by a bit of war gear that's going to come up soon, next in fact. And you disrupt the benefits of anything for the charge, so no Trier's charge, no rage, sudden strike, and your opponent gets to hit them with an improved weapon skill, because hold the line requires you to pass that morale test in order to make that. So you pass the morale test, you get to knock in the Warlord trait. Am I making sense? I feel like Graham will be questioning this more.
No, I just going through things over in my brain is like,
no. I know this is a legion that has a lot of synergy with other stuff, and it's like, oh, okay.
I was just trying to think which one I would prefer out of Martyrs of Isfahan or Paragon of Excellence.
I like Paragon of Excellence. I mean, because if you pop in a Legion standard, because basically you're going to want to keep units around your Warlord in order to pull this off. You could potentially, check. You can put your leadership up to 10.
You can. That's fine. It's just.
It's not bad, but I think it's one that you would need to have
I'm just thinking because
thinking for.
I'm just thinking because Martyrs of Isfahan is constant. You've got to be in contact with a trade unit. That's always entirely possible, but always likely to happen in these days anyway. Yep. But it's only the squad with the guy in it, effectively.
Yeah.
Whereas Paragon of Excellence, any unit within 12 inches of him, but you have got to make a morale check for it. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, but you can force that morale check, as I said, with the reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get all the benefits from both that and hold the line.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I think this is a Warlord trait that would really work with sort of the big brain thinking, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like it. I like that one quite a bit.
Okay. Oh. What about the war gear? Because this is where again it gets interesting here.
Okay. Any Emperor's Children? So it's just surgical augments.
Yeah.
Because of old
Fabius Bile.
Fabulous Bill, who...
Yeah, Fabulous Bill, yes.
Isn't actually... doesn't actually have a
no, he's not got a character block, in this yet.
No.
I bet you he'll be a later one, though.
Yeah, probably.
I bet you later on they will introduce him. I'm no doubt on that one. Fabulous Bill will come.
Right. Sonic Shriekers, upon successfully charging or being charged, unit imposes a -1 penalty to the hit rolls. Come on, Chris, put your teeth in for of enemy units engaged in combat with it. This effect does not affect units that are immune to fear.
So again, put that on your squad. Taking advantage of the hold the line and the Paragon of Excellence. See what I mean about Cynic? I think this unit is one in which you've got to think of it as a whole. Yeah.
So you can have a Praetor with weapon skill effectively 8.
Yeah.
No, weapon skill 7, sorry.
Yeah.
Imposing -1 on non-fit. So you're not going to work against Primarchs or anything particularly big or chunky, but yeah, cutting stuff down. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's your type of army, really, isn't it? But
I
think the thing is that
don't need this. Don't need this stress.
People seem to think that speaking to various Emperor's Children players, people do think this is the best of all of the.
Yeah, why would you not take that? Yeah, why would you? And that's 20 points I'd slap on before I'd even written anything else.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think what was it here that was explained? If your unit's weapon skill surpasses the opponent's by 1 point, their attacks now only hit on a 6+ due to the influence of the Sonic Shriekers. And it applies to the entire enemy unit with just one model having it.
Yeah.
So, invest Artificer Armor on your Sergeant to protect them with these Sonic Shriekers. The other one, sort of here, that I'll quickly go through is your subs. Sorry,
I wouldn't put it per se on a tack squad, but I would put it on
Terminators,
assault squads every day of the week.
Oh yes, assault squad, breaches even, I think, as well.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad shout.
I would definitely put it on breaches. Okay, the next one is your subsonic pulsar. No penalty to leadership or ballistic skill due to night fighting for any model or any unit it joins. Now, the thing is, amongst your core rule books, 5 of the 6 missions can offer night fighting, which will last for a maximum of 2 turns, potentially a 3rd turn on a 4+ roll for Night Lords. So I'd really only take this if you know you're going to be fighting Night Lords.
Actually, just very quickly, so I was thinking, just mulling over the back of my brain, that stupefy effect effectively works to the end of your next turn, did it say?
Yeah.
Sorry, just going back a bit.
Yes, it does.
In some of those, in the Cathonia book, some of those missions are only 4 turns
They're all
long.
4 turns. They're all
so
4 turns.
That's effectively half the game.
Yeah.
That your guys are chonking around, buzzed out of their brains.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's interesting. It's not necessarily one I would want, but it's interesting.
Sorry, just
that's no problem. Okay, so but I think in night fighting anyway, the Emperor's Children are going to be better because they can strike first and they're more challenging and can counter better. So I think they're going to, units are going to suffer worse. I don't think that the I mean, maybe if you've got a range squad, like a las cannon squad, put it with an augury scanner, so it would eliminate range penalties in the early game. So like you got an assault squad coming down turn 2 or whatever, or a drop pod, or anything deep striking.
Yeah,
that's the only real. That's for me the only way I can see this being very useful, unless you know you're facing Night Lords.
I mean, unless you want to cover, you want to cover all bases anyway.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Star Killers.
Yeah, I mean, radar, sonar, radar.
Yeah,
it's super useful.
Yeah,
like that. I don't know if I'd spend. See, I can see this army getting expensive quickly. That's the only thing.
Well, you only need to take it on 1, really, don't you? So.
Yeah, but I've already spent 100 points on Sonic Shriekers, so in my head, I know I'm working out what. So,
all right. What about the Sonic Lance? I actually quite like this.
Right, the Sonic Lance. Strength 2, AP nothing, assault 1, breaching 6+, and a pinning template.
Yeah.
It's a shooting weapon with special rules allowing it to both wound toughness 4 Marines and trigger AP2 on a 6+ to wound, providing a small yet extremely beneficial opportunity to initiate pinning tests for any infantry unit. However, exercising caution is advised when targeting dedicated range units, as giving potent squads like Plasma Melter teams might be unwise. Yeah, definitely. Always going to be unwise. 6+ breaching, though, is a bit naff. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with it personally.
I think I'd be interested in it if it was.
I know it's the flamer template and everything, but
yeah, I think I'm more interested in it if I had a squad that had no shooting attacks at all.
Yeah, I mean, if all you're doing it for is the pinning, it doesn't need to be a template weapon, because you only effectively need to wound 1 to cause a pinning check. Yeah, if it was breaching, even if it was 5+, I would be more inclined. Then at least you've got more of a chance. But always trying to get that 1 in 6 roll, to come up, and you might cover a few models with the template, but still, it's king of the long shots.
It's not. It's nowhere near as good as.
No, I think
there's one standout in there.
I think they started off really strong and went, oh no, we'll just tone this next one down a bit more, but it's still pretty good. And then they went, oh, maybe those other two are really good. Let's really dial this one back.
Which is annoying, because I really like there to be at least. I like every choice to be a good choice, because then you get more variety. But I can't see many people using this.
I mean, Everest children players are probably tell us wrong, and they'll say it's the best thing since sliced bread and marmalade were invented. But I just can't. Yeah, it wouldn't be something that I would take.
Me neither.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The only way I can see myself taking it is there's a rite of war coming up in which everybody in the squad can get the upgrades. Because at the minute it's just characters, so your sergeants. So I could see myself potentially taking something like, I don't know, maybe breachers or something, giving it to them, so that in addition to their bolters, because breachers are something you really want to get charged, they've also got Wall of Death. In addition, plus put your the first one on your sergeant. I can't remember the name of it. The Sonic, is it Shriekers?
Yeah.
Put that on your sergeant to get that benefit.
Thing is, though, you want to pin them so that they can't take reactions.
But honestly, this is me literally just looking for reasons to use it. I don't actually think it's any good to use, to be honest. But if I had to hunt for reasons, that's pretty much one that I could.
If they're charging you in, are they going to take a pinning check? Come on, brain, can't think. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, in the bin, frankly. Put it in the bin.
Not necessarily something I could take, but that first one. Okay, then we've got the Phoenix pattern power weapons. So any character from the Emperor's Children has the option to take a power weapon. If they got the option to take a power weapon, they can either take a Phoenix Rapier or Phoenix Power Sphere at no additional cost. The Rapier is a strength equal to the user, AP 3, Rending 6+, and Murderous Strike 6+. And the Phoenix Power Spear is a strength increase of 2+, AP 3, Reach 1. What's Reach do again? Is that just an extra inch range, isn't it?
No, it's +1 initiative.
Right, thank you. I've not come across that in a army yet. So
all the conviction of a man that knew 100% that was the rule, and is anyway double checking.
Murderous Strike 6+, Breaching 6+, and two-handed. So these are AP3 weapons at initiative, causing AP2 instant death on wound rules of 6. So they are going to be great against your dreadnoughts, Iron Circle, anything with an automatic deflector, and anything with lots of wounds, because that's D3 wounds.
reach, whatever the number is that additional 1 to your initiative.
So looking at it again, doing my maths, a Emperor's Children Sergeant with an Apothecary can unleash 8 AP-free power attacks with a Phoenix Rapier during the charge, turning to AP2 instant death on a roll of 6, and that's 20 points. That's amazing. I love that. And the AP and the AP3 Phoenix Power Sphere, it gets you more. It gets you your chances for instant death with its additional attacks as a one. The Rapier gets additional attacks as a one-handed weapon. The Power Sphere, normal Power Sphere, is Strength +1, AP3, Reach 1, and it's a great option against 3+ save guys. So Power Maul, 2+ wound roll, also one-handed weapon. But your Power Sphere is better for Terminator Sergeants in particular because they can't benefit from +1 attack from wielding 2 lightning claws.
So I'm just comparing this to the Dawnbreaker spears that the other one, because Custody spears are different, and if it's
I'm not that familiar with Dawnbreaker spears in this edition, so
I like a long shaft on a weapon. What can I say? I mean, better strength, AP's the same. Yeah, Murderous Strike and Breaching 6. So I'm trying to think. Breaching makes it AP2. Murderous Strike's instant death. Whew. You are fishing for. I suppose you've got strength 6. You're killing normal guys relatively easily. Yeah, I do like them. Right. I need a reason, Mr. B, not to be spending money I don't have on a load more guys with spears from Forge World. And so far, you're failing in this objective.
Look, I'm not going to tell you what to not spend your money on. But what I would say, if you do want to dip your toe into any army these days, I think a small Zone Mortalis force is perfectly reasonable.
I've got a small Zone Mortalis board I've never used. There's no point in me buying a small Zone Mortalis army.
This is true, and it's not just any Zone Mortalis board, is it? It's like the full-on resin.
It's the old one. Okay, right, come on. Let's keep. I've logged onto the Games Workshop website. That's how bad it's getting already. So.
Oh no, Warhammer website. Games Workshop is
whatever.
dead, isn't it? We know it's Games Workshop, don't we?
Not in this man's mind. It's not. Just I did type in Forge World to log into it. So
honestly, every time I go to it's annoying because if I want to go to the Warhammer website, the first thing that comes up is Warhammer Community, and if I want to go to Warhammer Community, the first thing that comes up is damn Warhammer.com. So I'm like, I've just deleted Warhammer.com from my thing, and now I just like Games Workshop. That's fine. Okay, so we've got
house figures. Yeah. Where are the Terminators? You don't buy them anymore.
Yes, you can. You should be able to. I'm sure I linked them. Phoenix Terminator Squad. I'm sure I linked them in the. Oh no, maybe I didn't link them. I thought I linked them. You can usually you've been able to buy them unless they're being
£62.50. They are. To be fair, they're up there with the best looking Terminators in the game, and they are super old now as well. Okay. Right. Anyway, come on. Let's carry on before my shopping starts to.
Yeah, I put in Phoenix Terminators, and I can't.
Yeah. They are there.
It's given me all of the Terminators.
Yeah, they are.
There they are. They're like the fourth choice. Okay, brilliant. All right. Do you want to start us off with the Hereticus example of the
debased augments? Right. So, Warp Scream.
Because you can't use the surgical augments in Hereticus, and you can't use these in Astartes. So
it's going to get so confusing people.
Names. Yeah, it's a
right. So yeah. So 15 points. These are a bit cheaper. So let's see why, shall we? Right, Warp Scream. They acquire Hammer of Wrath 1, or augment the value of an existing Hammer of Wrath. So if they've got a jump pack, this results in hit gains the Rending 5+ attribute, while Hammer of Wrath operates on a per model basis. It may not be particularly advantageous for individual characters. However, It proves valuable for full-size squads capable of adopting it as a unit-wide option, especially when ensuring guaranteed charge, such as charging from assault vehicles or jumping into craziness. Extra thing to Hammer of Wrath. Yeah, I'm already missing my what's the other thing called?
Sonic Shriekers.
Yeah, I'm missing my Sonic Shriekers already. I'm not feeling the love so much for that one.
I mean, it's not bad. You pop it on some assault-orientated Terminators jumping out of a Spartan.
Yes.
Not the best in the world, but then again, I think that's the kind of thing with Hereticus. That it's just ever so slightly worse, but different, but not. It's not awful. It's just when you know they've got prior to the fall, the rules that they had. It's like, do I want this?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I kind of get it. You know, you've got that perversion. They're losing their.
Yeah, I think Hereticus is more of a themey thing rather than a gameplay. This is absolutely how I will play the.
Yeah,
this is the best way to play the army. It's a gameplay choice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Abhorrent Sensoria. Acquire precision shots strikes 5+. So it basically lets you target independent characters with power fists, basically. So
yeah,
if you're using a challenger to avoid sergeant, avoiding, or chosen warriors using sergeants, free attacks on the charge with that. Modest users can get a good chance of getting precision strikes once.
Nothing more satisfying than precision striking someone with a bolt pistol and taking out an apothecary or some sort of nonsense.
But yeah, no, it's not terrible. In fact, it's actually not bad at all.
No.
Trying
to think what's a Praetor got in Primarch got for, because they've got precision strikes and things, but I can't do it.
I mean, you're not going to take down a Primarch, but a chaplain.
No. I was just thinking of what their role is for it. I imagine it's a 4+, probably.
But you might be able to take out, chaplains, sergeants.
Yeah.
With a guy with a power fist.
Yeah. I'd have no reason to dislike that one.
No, it's not bad at all.
I think it's super useful. No.
Yeah.
Sublingual glands. Now, I'm pretty sure I have a doctor that informed me that I didn't have that fairly recently during my last check over, so that was encouraging. Classic Space Marine acid spit. The model with assault, so gives the model assault 1, strength nothing, AP 5, flesh pain, and blind. How much spit are they throwing out? Jesus, the template. Crikey, that's not.
Well, yeah,
that's acid spit. That's acid.
Well,
vomit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're demonic upgrades, but yeah, no, I actually quite like this as an idea for Space Marines. It's actually quite cool because it's just something that's been in the lore for like forever. But
can you imagine getting Wall of Death with that? How embarrassing would that be?
Yeah, true, but blind, not bad, is it?
For Fleshbane, so always winning on a 2+.
Yeah.
AP 5. Yeah, that's pretty useful. Much better than the other template thing.
Yeah. So all in all, these are a little bit more well-rounded than the other one, in which you've got one absolute standout choice, another decent one, and then thingamajiggies. I think you've got
I'm
three.
I'm not fussed about Warp Scream so much. I think it's way too nuanced to worry to want to take on mass, depending on how your army's vibing.
But it's not terrible.
No. Yeah, I would take the Abhorrent Sensoria or the Sublingual Glands or Warp Shriek as my Sonic Shriekers, as my as my potential choices. Although I can't take them all because that's not how this game works.
It's not how this
So,
system works because you can only take these or the others. You can't take them both because
they are limited Sonic Shriekers every day of the week.
What your army is. I don't know. Can you take could you take an ally choice of Hereticus? Probably not.
No, because you wouldn't be able to ally in from the same legion.
Well, they're not the same army. They're different. They're different legion rule.
They would still on the Force-Org chart be the same as the Emperor's Children.
That is definite an Aunt Sally.
So yeah, that would.
All right.
People could try it. I think people would find themselves shunned in the corner, and because they both occupy that same spot, and that's again,
it's definitely an Aunt Sally.
Do that
question. Okay, rights of war. See, these are fun. Again, they've got 4 rights of war, 2 Astartes, 2 Hereticus. So the first one is the Maru Saka. So this is an old classic. Basically 4 units that are elites, troops, or faster choice, fast attack, and aren't heavy, slow, or bombard, can be designated as outflank units before the battle. So that includes dreadnoughts, Tartarus Terminators, veterans, destroyers, bikes, Saber Strike Squadrons with neutron blasters and multi-melters in particular, among others. And basically that means you've got deep strike alternatives as well, allowing outflank for Dassault Squads, destroyers, jet bikes, and even land raiders and Spartans carrying, I don't know, Seekers, Terminators, Mortalis destroyers. That's pretty powerful. All Legiones Astartes Emperor's Children units from a detachment deployed at the battle's onset with this right gain +1 movement until the start of any turn in which the controlling player brings units on into reserves, including deep strike, flanking, and subterranean assault. And this movement increases benefits charges. So you now have a model with a 7-inch movement. Your basic Marine now moves 8. And that also
effectively for one turn.
Not that you could, effectively for one turn, because
deep strike is
depending on what your opponent has. Is it until control
until the end of
because you're going to want to bring stuff on deep strike.
Yeah. So
but it's not terrible.
It gets you in a bit quicker, a bit closer. I mean, the outflanking thing is more useful, I would say, than the
you also got
+1 movement, but
also
you can get across the board.
You're exempt from making reserve rolls for units assigned to flanking or subterranean assaults. So all units may be brought into play at the start of any of their turns after the first one, streamlining deployment and tactical maneuvers, which is really quite cool.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's simple in a second, but your limitations are you can't select units with a movement of 0, slow, or bombard. What's got bombard? Is the rapier? I don't know. Bombard. I'm thinking things like rapiers and obviously the bombard.
It'll be it'll be the Medusas and such like. Off the top of my head,
you can't have dreadnoughts or dreadnought drop pods. But you can take a Dreadclaw or Charybdis for deep striking Leviathans, but obviously that's a bit of a pain in the bum because you're losing a slot there. No more than half the total units in the detachment could be assigned to flanking assault, subterranean assault, or be at the reserves at the battle start. And the inclusion of a Centurion with Legion Champion, and we'll get onto this, the Phoenix Warden Council as a HQ choice is mandatory, since only a Master of Legion unlocks rights and no provision is for an extra HQ slot. That means that this is exclusive to primary detachment. So you can't take an allied detachment where you're limited to 1 HQ. So you have to take a consul who can't take a right of war. You have to take a praetor or whatever to get a right of war. So that means you've got to have 2 HQs. So can't take this as a as an allied detachment.
So no. Although maybe assigned to just later. Must take these centurion.
Yeah, I cannot see any way that you could take this as a reserve.
Yeah, detached Legion's Rival must take Legion Centurion, Cataphractus Centurion, or Legio Tartarus Centurion with the Legion Champion or Phoenix Warden console upgrade. So yeah, you could take it on a.
Neither of those can take a rite of war.
Centurions can't take rights of war?
Nope.
Well, even if they're
not basic Centurions, no.
Well, no, but you would upgrade your Centurion, wouldn't you?
Yep, but in order to take an allied detachment with a rite of war, you've got to have a what's the word I'm looking for? You've got to have a thing that can take a rite of war, and this rite of war requires you to take one of these HQs compulsory. So it automatically requires 2 HQ.
You're entirely possibly correct.
Just write in if I'm wrong. Write in if I'm wrong, because I that's the way I've interpreted it, and I'm happy to prove them wrong.
Just thinking. Yeah, because Centurions don't have Master of the Legion, do they? And Delegatus don't have Master of the Legion, or do they?
I believe Delegatus does, but again, that still would be a second.
Yeah, so you could take a Delegatus.
Yeah, but that's still a second HQ you've got to take, because the HQ you could take for this has to be either has to be a champion or a Phoenix warden. You can't take a plain old Delegatus to serve as this. It has to be.
Hang on. So Delegatus gets Master Legion, right? Okay, so that gives him rights of war.
Yep.
Emperor's Children. And goes back, looks at the thing. Must take a Legion Centurion, a Cataphracti Centurion. Yeah, so you could.
But that's a Centurion.
With the sorry, I do apologize. So the whole conversation is entirely pointless. I do apologize, little boy. You're
right.
Yeah, 2 HQs. What?
Yeah, you've got to take 2 HQs, so it does limit it, which is fine, because I mean, to be fair, you're going to want this as a main thing, because you want all those 4 units to take for your reserve.
Hang on, it's going to be even more annoying here. Does a warden give you skill unmatched, living icons?
What, the Phoenix?
Parts.
Yeah, no.
I'm just, if the Phoenix Warden gives you Master of the Legion. What? Don't think it does. I can't see it there. No, okay, fair enough. Walk on by. Do. Okay, cool.
All right. What about the third company elite?
Third company elite. Cacophony squads are eligible to take as troops choices. Oh, God, the Emperor's Children. Just the Death Guard with their stupid heavy support slots all over again. Providing more flexibility and potentially freeing up heavy support slots, but they don't get line. Infantry units in the detachment could opt to take a single surgical augment at an additional 30 points per unit. All models unit must purchase the same augment. Oh, pardon me, do apologise. Where was I? This route of war allows infantry models in your army to take the Sonic Lance augment. Sonic Lance is the template weapon from earlier on. You can niche a barrage of 10 to 20 templates, forcing a ping test for charging and striking at 1 initiative step higher than the usual. Potential damage output and control over. Yep. So do they all? Okay. All models in the unit must be given the same. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but you could take you could put a Centurion or Apothecary with them who can take something else. like your Sonic Shrieker.
Yeah.
Because you only need one to
just
get.
to mix it up. Right? That's just checking that's not been FAQ'd.
At least that's how I would do it. Get the benefits of both.
Yeah. No, we're all good there. Cool. Right. So yeah, Sonic Shriek is purchased for an apothecary attachment spread across other infantry squads. See, that's a bit sneaky, Mr. Me. That's my level of sneakiness right there.
Actually, I've got a lot of speaking to Emperor's Children players. A lot of them are really. I think it's because this army is one in which you've got to think about. You can't just think about individual squads. You've got to think about the whole synergy.
I mean, that is how you should think about the whole game anyway.
Well, yeah, but I think this is one that's a bit more so than others.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Including a herald in this right can enhance the fear fear 1 effect, increasing the chances of the enemy falling back. Pinning tests. Vigilators can be utilized to target sergeants and reduce enemy leadership, while Easter terrorists and demons can introduce additional sources of fear when the Ruin Storm Demons army list is released in the new edition. Yeah, about that. Limitations restricted to traitor force only. Absolutely. Reflecting the heretical nature of assembling an entire army inspired proto noise marines, all characters in the attachment must have a surgical augment. Since practically all squads have a character, including the sergeant, each unit needs to. Yes, it's expensive, isn't it? Contributing to the thematic and tactical consistency of the third company's transformation into basically 80s hair bands. That's effectively what they're all going to become.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that or Judas Priest, one of the two.
It's not a bad one, is it?
It's not.
So
what am I taking out of the two of those? I'm not a big one for right support at the best of the time.
No, you are you?
I would. What would I take? I would probably take Third Company Elite, just because I want those, or more of those augments kicking around my armies I can possibly get. 30 points for a unit to have it when it's 20. It's only an extra 10 points basically from a one guy having it to 40 guys having it, or 30 guys having it.
Yeah, but again, the Sonic Shrieker, not the best choice, I would say, for that, because that only needs one Marine to have it to get the full benefit.
Yeah. But in this instance, I would agree with you that Sonic Lances are slightly more useful in this scenario.
Yep. Because
on a single model, very limited usefulness. But yeah, I can see them being much more useful.
Yeah, once you can take them on everybody.
Mass. Yeah,
take them on everybody. They actually make sense. Okay, the next two only apply to Legionis Hereticus. This is from Exemplary Bats 1, not Legionis. We would do this a lot. So this basically defies the conventional organization choice and allow 5 HQ choices without restriction. All Legion champions are bestowed with a sycophantic retinue special rule, providing them with preferred enemy everything, and Fulgrim Transfigured is on the battlefield, and this ensures that Legion champions can effectively support Fulgrim in challenges, granting him additional guaranteed hits. With Fulgrim's Strength 7 guaranteed wounds against a broad range of adversaries, and this extends to other units, enabling precision strikes such as Sun Killers, achieving certain wounds and with their las cannons, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a good one, but your selection
5 HQ choices.
Yeah, 5 HQ choices, but your selection of HQs is confined solely to Eidolon, Lucius, or Legion champions, excluding Primus Medicaes, chaplains, librarians, and other HQ options. So you've got 2 characters and champions. That is it. And
so I can't take a chaplain. I can't take a herald.
Yeah, Can't take any of them. Interesting. That means you can't take a Praetor, so you can't take this Rite of War. However, you have to include Fulgrim Transfigured.
Who gives you Marshal of the Legion?
Yeah. So yeah.
One unit. Yeah. All you need is him to unlock it. So it's if he's got to be in it.
It's an interesting.
I'll take 5 champions with Paragon Blades, Sonic Shriekers.
Wait, you won't have Sonic Shriekers on this one. You've got the other one because this is Hereticus only.
Oh god.
She's taking your other ones.
I'm so confused.
I know.
I don't know who I am anymore.
You think it's confusing?
Stupid.
It feels like
if anything, it's doing the job of putting me off.
If anything, it feels like it's 2 separate armies in many ways because of the way it's split. It feels like 2, and I suppose it is in a way. Okay, so that is a really, really HQ centric force. And you've really got to work on these synergies there between the sycophantic retinues and Fulgrim to make your champions actually work. But you don't get HQ options, like you're not got any librarians, esoterists, and it means you kind of, you've got to work harder to make this one work for you. I think this is
really Phoenix Wardens. You can't, Yep.
Just champions and those 2 named characters, Eidolon and Lucius.
Just champion. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, 5 champions with power blades.
That is the dream.
Third enemy, everything is not bad at all. As I said, shoving one of those with, because preferred enemy it's just one character in the unit has to have it, isn't it? Yes, right. That's what I was right. Because put one of those in with your Sun Killers. Woohoo! Okay, then.
Okay.
We've got a note in here.
Right.
This Children of the Maragavia, and I put a note in here that was for Graham. The Maragavia was the rave that resulted in the downfall of the third to the worship of Slanesh, because Graham doesn't read the books.
Is that when they have the rave concert?
Yeah, the concert that turned into a rave in which they invited a bunch of people, and they were like, yeah.
Awesome. All units in the desired attachment require the stubborn special rule when positioned within 6 inches of an Emperor's Children unit, not excluding themselves, I assume, reflecting the enduring influence of the Fallen Legion. If Fulgrim is not attached to any unit, rating otherwise, he has the option to be placed in reserves. Subsequently, you declare to your opponent that he will materialize from reserves on a chosen turn between 2 and 4. I hate this stupid thing. What? Oh, anyway. On that designated turn, Fulgrim must be positioned within 6 inches of an Emperor's Children unit and at least 1 inch away from enemy forces. If placement conditions cannot be met, retry on the subsequent turn until Fulgrim's arrival. The entire detachment benefits from the stubborn special rule. This is the thing that I dislike the most, is telling your opponent when something's going to turn up.
Yep. I'm not a big fan either, but...
a message for you, sir. Yes, by the way, I've just intercepted the comms that Fulgrim, the Demon Prince, is going to rock up in about 15 minutes from now, so just prepare yourself. Ridiculous.
I mean, on the plus hand, it's kind of the arrogance of the Emperor's Children. They tell you when they're coming.
Well, even so, they're better than that, surely. Okay. Stubborn. Always useful. Do you get stubborn until he arrives?
And
then
you know what? I've not actually said something here. It has to have an allied detachment.
Has to have an allied detachment, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
It must have an allied detachment, which must be Solar Auxilia or Imperious Militia with 4 units.
Okay. That's a bit of a game changer. So you've got to have a very expensive Primarch model, and although not expensive in points terms, there's 2 quite big points taxes. It's about probably going to work out what 600-700 points, 800 points. Thereabouts. If you're going really cheap on your Solar Ox militia.
How cheap can you get Solar? Well, not even Solar Ox.
Well, I'm just thinking of they're really basic squads, just to fill the void. But
guards are a bit cheaper. Well, militia.
That one, stubborn isn't worth that. Basically, stubborn is not worth the points tax for all of those models.
I don't know. I mean, it could depend on what the unit is. I mean, a couple of Medusas or.
Yeah, but it's still going to have to be. You've got to take an allied detachment, bear in mind. So you're going to have to take an HQ. A troop. And then you've got 2 more choices. Are you going to want to spend a ton of points into those? Plus, you're going to have to make up ground in your points because you've got a Fulgrim running around as well, who isn't going to turn up until turn 2 or turn 3 or however you're daring or feeling. To
be perfectly honest, this and the other the 2 Heretics Rights of War are, how's the best way to put it? They are they're thematic rather than, you aren't going to win games. You will win games. You might win games. You aren't going to win.
You're not going to win games. Yes, that's exactly the mindset.
You're not going to win a tournament.
Long held.
You're not going to win a tournament, but you'll have or a very competitive event, but you will have fun. I think the best way to put it. These are rights of war that are made for having a laugh with. And I think that's fine. They're thematic. They're about storytelling, and that is something that sometimes, when we talk gamey stuff, we tend to get away from.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's easily done. I'm thinking of a broader, the broader church aspect of.
In terms of gameplay, they're absolutely they're not great.
They're not ideal. Right, cool. They're good ways to mix it up a bit if you want to do a certain sort of campaign or whatever with your mate. But yeah, I just think that one is just
they're interesting.
It's a little bit. It's pushing it that little bit too far with having to have a Primarch, having to have an allied detachment, and all you're gaining out of it is stubborn.
But I will say, when it comes to having Legiones Hereticus for the rest of the legions, I don't want them to be as thematic. I do want at least one of them to be a bit more gameplay orientated.
Yeah, fair enough.
I want them to maybe take some flavor. I mean, Iron Warriors one, for example, you could just put in unit entries for like Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends and say, here's some crazy stuff that that Perturabo was messing around with, or something. I just say you've got to take a certain number of demon engines, as it were. Okay, cool. Right, so. What else is there? So you've got to have Fulgrim, primary detachment, allied detachment.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just too much handcuffing for me.
There is.
Which is ironic for the Emperor's Children when you think about it.
Well, talking handcuffs, I was talking to Chris on Friday. I was saying, should we get some pasties or something, or some nipple tassels to like put on our shirts or something while we're videoing this? To which I was told, no.
Why do you think I suggested bringing it forward so that an Amazon parcel did not arrive in time? That's the sole reason. Right now.
Well, to be honest, I was kind of hovering between the pasties and the glitter and the body glitter, and I was like, maybe not.
Maybe another time, perhaps another time.
about we talk about sim unit?
Go on then. Fill your little boots while I try and load a thing that doesn't want to load.
Okay, I'm going to start with the Inducti. The first unit we're going to talk about is the Inducti. I think this is a good unit to talk about first. It's a basic troop, and I think this is what we'll kind of be doing in all of our Legion deep dives from now on, putting the Inducti first. Because so the Inducti of the Emperor's Children are the result of abhorrent experimentation by Fabulous Bill, enhancing their combat skill through a combination of physical modification and drugs. These are the spoilers. They can all take a charmable weapon over their chainsword for additional 5 points. And they also lose Heart of the Legion and take Perfection Embodied. So they get Leadership 10 for pinning / morale in the shooting phase, but they automatically lose Drawn Combat by a symbol point. So they're basically, you just wipe the smug expression off their face because they're going in and they're like, we're going to beat you all. And then you wipe off that smile by beating them and drawing with them. So they lose that. But a lot of charnable weapons allows for a lot of breaching hits with charnable savers. So if you've got a 20-man to spoiler squad, 3 attacks on the charge before Spite of the Legion, and they're more likely to get in combat due to increased resilience against pinning and shooting. But drawn combat as a loss is a bit worrying. But if you've got Broken Mirror of Excelia, living icons around, because that's a special rule we'll get onto shortly with the Terminators, and Sonic Shriekers, and lots of power and charnable weapons, you're not necessarily going to face any draws. So it's costly, but a 10-man, 20-man squad with charnable sabers, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I reckon they could take quite a few of the elite units.
Just trying to think. Yeah, you'd want to take a Vexelia just to make sure, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, 10 pin morale. So they're probably not going to get pinned.
Yep.
I
think they're a lot.
Yeah,
I think they're a lot better than the Dark Angels one, which we haven't talked about, but was in our Legion Focus article, because they basically can't be taken in half of the Ruddy Rights of War.
I'm just thinking of things that mean, you know, there's. Where is it? Because there are a lot of special rules that allow you to allow opponents, or whichever side of it you're on, to take 1 additional wounds, like combat res. Sanguinius, for instance, and he joins +1 wounds for the person resolving who has 1 combat. So you could.
True, but when these guys are near their warlord with a broken mirror, they are they've got the plus. What is it? Is it +1? Oh no, it's the that's the sorry, that's the instead of retreating, they take 1 unpreventable wound, and they pass the morale check. So
yeah,
they're not bad, but there are situations.
They're not bad.
But I mean, to be realistic, if you're throwing these up against Sanguinius, you're an idiot.
No, I mean, that's not the only way that rule is applied. It's just the only one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, there's definitely lots of stuff like that. But I think if you're taking these up against tactical squads, assault squads, even some of the more elite bodyguard squads, not necessarily saying like the what's the Ultramarines one? The
because Vexalia's. Yeah, see, Vexalia does the same thing. +1 wounds. Listen, if you haven't got 1, you're at that disadvantage. So I can. Yeah,
it's going to be pricey to upgrade this, but I definitely reckon it's coming out on top in a lot of combats.
Fair enough.
I haven't done the full math hammer on it versus certain squads, but I reckon you are you are taking down a fair few squads. If you've got 20 of these with charnable savers, even 10 of them with charnable savers is a tough ask. Especially if you throw in that, especially if you throw in your librarian with apothecary with the what's the word I'm looking for? The Sonic Shriekers to help you out there.
Yeah, I that drawing the basically you can only win a combat.
You have to win the combat, which means you have to.
It doesn't fill me with a lot of joy. I mean, it's entirely my mindset.
It's a total risk. It's a total risk, but I think it's thematic.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see a use for them, absolutely.
It's a thematic rule, but they still are useful outside of just theme. I think they've got a lot going for them because, as I said, I think they could take on most of your stuff. So okay, how about the Phoenix Warden? Because you've been this is something you've been we've mentioned a few times.
Right. So, exclusive to Tartarus Centurions, for an additional 30 points, the Phoenix Warden gains a Phoenix pattern power weapon of their choice, an iron halo, and acquires the skill unmatched and living icon special rule. Functioning as a melee and support-oriented console, the Phoenix Warden is a cost-effective alternative when compared to a Tartarus Cataphracti champion at 5 to 15 points less and at a slightly higher cost than the champion in Artificer armor.
I'll just quickly run through the living icon rule. Basically, it's a +1 score it's a +1 bonus to the score for determining the victor in combat, and any unit within a 6-inch radius. It doesn't accumulate with any other effect.
Okay. Yeah. Just very quick. Yeah, no additional points. Cool. While sporting a -1 weapon skill, he can potentially be offset by sacrificing a -1 attack thanks to the perfect guard, perfect strike options, although he lacks the versatility of having 2 specialist weapons. He compensates for 2 regular power weapons, granting him +1 attack. The absence of a Paragon Blade is counteracted by the Phoenix Rapier's +6 to wound, resulting in an AP2 instant death wound.
We've got perfect the perfect strike, perfect fury thing coming up in the next unit. So
would I be taking this? I would probably be taking the spear because I'm going at higher initiative and I've got a higher strength and a murder strike and just saying.
I would probably take the spear
and also
well.
Spears look cooler than swords every day of the week.
They do.
So he gets access to 3 special rules with skill unmatched. So we have the Perfect Fury, which gives an additional attack over a champion with a normal power weapon, but leaves some weapon skill 4.
But he loses 1 weapon skill.
Yeah. 3 wounds and a 4+ invuln. She surpasses the durability of a champion. Importantly, being a non-heavy character allows him to fulfill the Maru Skara Rite of War requirement without relying on a 2+5++ champion. Trying to think. Fury. That's one. But then if he's got Sonic Shrieker, he's basically balancing that out. So he's still weapon skill 6.
Yep.
No, weapon skill 5, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But that's 50 points, but extra attack for 20 for that amount of points. Okay. I'm on board with that one. What is next? The Phoenix Warden avoids the need to issue or accept challenges, presenting an advantage over the champion.
Yeah, that is
living icon.
That's a pain with a champion, isn't it?
Yeah. Emperor's Children players like to point out the fact that the Chain Fist lacks the specialist weapon designation, leveraging the Phoenix Warden's Terminator status and the inclusion of a Phoenix pattern weapon. He can wield a Chain Fist alongside a Rapier, gaining +1 attack for dual wielding. Yeah, terrible people. This configuration matches a number of attacks from the Champion's Paragon Blade and Thunderhammer combo. Paragon Blades. Oh, yeah. Although the Phoenix Warden may not outshine the champion in direct close combat, his ability to forego challenges provides advantages, such as effectively dispatching Terminator-equipped squads with the Initiative 2 Chain Fist, while the champion is constrained by challenges and reliant on excess wounds. Okay, hang on. So, the three things you can do, because we've had Perfect Fury. So, Perfect Guard.
Mm-hmm.
If a model with a skill and match special rule sets option, they must increase their weapon skill by 1, but must reduce their attacks by 1. And Perfect Strike, if the model or models of the unit with the skill and match special rule set its option, they must increase their weapon skill by 1 for the purposes of determining the score required for that models to hit rolls.
Yeah.
But must reduce their attack characteristic by 1. I would take a Perfect Fury, yeah, and take a Sonic thingy what's it, and negate the reduced weapon skill by 1.
I mean, the crack is they've got
skill 6.
There's a bit of flexibility there, so it's
yeah,
not,
I mean,
you're locked into one choice.
Initiative. Got a spear, so I've got reach 1, so I've got a higher initiative, I've got an extra attack. I'm at the weapon skill that I was anyway. Yeah. Yep. Perfect Fury.
Yep. Obviously, as it depends on the situation, but most of the time, I think Perfect Fury is the one I would take. But I suppose that's always assuming you're going to be on the attack. Anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, having a higher weapon skill over volume of attacks is useful insofar as it's harder for your opponent to hit you, potentially.
Yep.
But that's only going to come into play against significantly more powerful against other HQ choices. Effectively, there's not really any other troop choices it's going to, or anything below an HQ choice that's it's going to really worry about.
Yeah.
Even if you're under skilled and you can go at a higher initiative before your opponent, and you can hit them more times, you have more chances of causing more damage than higher weapon skill. Yeah, I would take a Perfect Fury.
Yep,
that would be my choice.
Well, the other side to these guys, the Phoenix. This is the Phoenix Terminator squad, which sort of synergizes with them. 200 points, I believe it's still 200 points. 5 Tartaros Terminators with the option to get 5 more for £35. Not pounds. That would be 35
62
each.
£62 a piece.
These Terminators have stubborn, weapon skill 5, and skill unmatched and living icons, as well as Phoenix Retinue, which lets them function as a retinue for Master of the Legion instead of Command Squad. All of them are characters and equipped with Phoenix Power Spears and are restricted from choosing any other weapon, both ranged and melee. But obviously, can get the Surgical Augment for the entire squad, and a Grenade Harness for the Phoenix Champion is available. So there are choices for ranged weapons sort of there. One Terminator can exchange the Power Spear for a Legion Standard and a Phoenix Rapier for 25 points if the squad is a retinue. And as I said, they can access Surgical Augment, 25 points for a whole squad to take one. So Sonic Lance actually works here because you get that. Everyone gets a weapon. But yes, you've got your living icon, Perfect Strike, Perfect Guard, Perfect Fury with the skill unmatched, and then you've got living icon, so +1 bonus for determining victor in a combat. to any unit to them and any unit within 6-inch radius. But in a Hereticus army, they lose Living Icon and it becomes Fallen from Grace, which we discussed in the beginning there, which is now a +1 bonus to their combat resolution if they're within 6 inches of another unit, a +2 if Demon Fulgrim is there. So in the Astartes version, they are basically what's the word? Inspiring the rest of the Legion. In Hereticus, they need inspiration because obviously they've fallen from grace. They're not feeling quite good. Fulgrim's now a demon. He doesn't need us anymore. Whatever.
Yeah.
So these are nice. These are nice units, though. I like these. I mean, weapon skill 5 with those spears. I keep trying to say spheres.
Everyone needs a hobby. 2 wounds, 2 attacks apiece. You're only getting an additional attack for charging.
Oh, how many wounds are there actually?
2 wounds. Oh. All Terminators have 2 wounds these days. So.
I find myself asking though.
But they do have stubborn living icons. Yeah. Here's the thing.
Oh.
I think they're really cool. And I really like the models. And I would almost certainly buy them.
Oh, yeah. If I had an Emperor's Children army, they'll be in there, no question.
But.
Yep.
The things they are likely to come up against, such as other Terminator squads, etc., are going to be dishing out brutal 2s and 3s with Thunderhammers, and they're going to get squished.
I hear that, but again, this is what that Legion is all about: striking first.
Yeah, but those spears are only AP3.
So when you've got the perfect counter there, you've got your perfect counter there. You've got your what's the word? Flawless execution. So you can do your you've got your counter charge there. You don't want to be you want to be getting fast. You want to be getting in. I think these could stand up.
I know what you're saying.
It's
but even
on them pulling some things off.
If a 5-man tournament is called Thunderhammers rocks up against a 5-man squad of these, I don't see many of these guys walking out of that, which is a shame because I think they should be super cool. But you're fishing for 6s with the spears in that scenario, because you're hoping to get that the instant death with Murderous Strike and AP2 for breaching.
I mean, this is just my personal opinion, but I don't think these guys are anti-Terminator.
Steven the Thunderhammer. No, they're just sort of disappointing.
I think they're anti-elite units in power armor.
Yeah, which is a shame for a 200-point elite unit, if that makes sense. Yep. But then none of the Terminator units with the elite Terminator units are really massively all that these days. There's
definitely a favoritism towards power armored units.
Yeah,
and that's
so cool. I just want them to be really cool, man.
I know what you mean. I'm like that with Death Shroud now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, used to be amazing, and now you're just like, yeah. Okay.
AP3 weapons. You can't upgrade them either. You can't.
Nope.
You can't give them any different weapon.
Upgrade them, which is an absolute shame. Crying shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. Okay. Well, also, they're going to struggle against Dreadnoughts. Dreadnought will just chomp them out.
Yes.
Because they are. I mean, they're strength 6, AP3. Maximum 3 attacks each.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry guys. I want you to be cool, but that's
What about the Palatine blades then, Chris? Because these are cool.
Palatine blade.
These are really cool.
Let's ruin these guys too very quickly. Right. Okay. So
50 quid up. 50 quid for 5.
Oh yeah, exactly. 165 points to 5 models. 5 more are available at 28 points per person. Palatine blades. I've got 2 plus. Stand out as Premier Emperor's Children Duelist and Swordsman with weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, artificer armor, level 2 attacks, counter attack, relentless, chosen warriors, and skill unmatched. So they can choose one of those
perfect
options
fury,
we spoke about. The Wardens. The squad is uniformly equipped with channelable weapons, which can be swapped for power weapons or Phoenix pattern power weapons for additional 5 points for either type. This versatility combined with skill unmatched ensures their effectiveness against various foes. Despite their default position of bolt pistols, with only the Palatine Prefector able to equip a plasma pistol, their ballistic skill 5 provides reliable shooting component. The squad can opt for a surgical augment for 25 points and belt bombs for 15 points, enhancing their utility in certain situations. Get rhinos, drop pods, termites. So I'm just thinking, Mr. B.
Go on.
How good are they compared to Templar Brethren, which would be the equivalent, I guess.
Templar Brethren. That's an interesting. Yeah, I suppose they would be the nearest equivalent. Okay, so you've got chargeable saber to start with, which is not quite as good as a power weapon.
Which is not good as a power sword. Nope.
But you can
have a artificer armor as well.
Yeah, but you can upgrade that to a Palatine. Sorry, a Phoenix Rapier. Is it Phoenix or Palatine? Right, Phoenix Rapier.
Phoenix Rapier.
Phoenix Rapier
for 5 points,
which isn't terrible.
No, but they're already 15 points more expensive than Templar Brethren. I'm just adding to Graham's argument that the Imperial Fists are OP here.
How much are they paying for their melter bombs?
Saddens me. So they are paying, and next up other book very momentarily.
Because
melter bombs.
I think, to be honest, they're probably
25 points. So they're paying 10 points more for the melter bombs. Yeah.
Wait, don't.
But they're making
that pay 25. I thought
that's what I mean. Whereas, the Palatine Blades pay 15.
Oh, Palatine Blades get them for 15.
Yeah, they get them slightly cheaper. But have the same stat line. Fact. Do they have the same leadership? Yeah. But they've got to pay. They're already more expensive, so they're already accounted for that 10 points effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And plus you're having plus you're having to then pay another 9, 10, 15, 20, 25 points for them to have equivalent weapons. So that's 190 points by this point.
Is it 5 points on top for the Palatine for the Phoenix weapons?
For
5 points
for a power weapon, a spear. Got me doing it now. A spear or a Phoenix Rapier isn't always an additional 5 points.
So actually, weapons might be slightly better for the 5 points.
Well, I mean, if a power sword and the Phoenix Rapier are both the same cost, so rending 6+, murder strike 6+. I can't remember what a power sword does off the top of my head, and I don't want to lose that page. I mean, they've got counterattack 1. Emperor, the chappies. Templar Brethren have got Furious Charge. I do think the Palatine Blades have been somewhat slightly sawn off here.
They're going to cost more, but they're going to be better. Just slightly. Depending on everything else. because you've got your other things. Because if they can charge first, I think it's going to depend on who's charging first, to get the extra attacks and the situation, and what's around them. I think it's a case of, I think in a head-to-head they're pretty equal, but it depends. Are the Templars in the Templar, in the Templar Brethren Rite of War?
Well, yeah, I mean the Templar Brethren can take a very similar reaction with the best defense reaction as well.
Oh yeah, no. What I mean is are they jumping out of a Land Raider with all the extra attacks, etc. I think with this one it's hard to say in a straight up fight if they've got the Palatine. Sorry, the Phoenix Blades.
If they've got the rapiers,
I might be tempted to give it to them. But again, I think it's one of those things where it depends on the situation.
The Murderous Strike certainly does go in their favor because you get instant death.
Because if the Templar Brethren have the extra attacks, brilliant. If the Templar Brethren have the extra attacks, have the Emperor's Children manage to do the whole counter charge thing. It's one where I don't think you. I think I think they're pretty equal if the Emperor's Children are just more expensive. I'd say they're in terms of ability. And again, it's just dependent on the situation.
Templar Brethren can have more weapons. They can take Power Fists, for instance, or they can take and Solar Power Corners, and the Sergeant can effectively, and they can take a Thunder Hammer. So, and they can take Combat Shields. I do feel if I'm looking at those two, which are kind of up there as
Graham's
they're up there with the premier
is justified here. The Emperor's Children, the Imperial Fists getting everything for now. It is being justified here. But I think these two are pretty equal, depending on the situation. They're pretty equal.
Yeah.
Who's with them? What's around them? It's a straight up fight. I think these have got a slight advantage in terms of attack, but Fists have got maybe that slight advantage in terms of defense with the shields.
Yeah, and the shields are going to give them a 6+. Yeah, I'm just comparing the two. It's just bang.
Again, it's a hard one. I think it's a bang for the buck, Templar Brethren, but I think these guys can be upgraded and enhanced slightly better, depending on other things around them. It's one of those tough ones, isn't it? It's like, if there's this slightly different, then it's going to swing it massively in favor. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, if you got your Warlord with the particular trait just an inch this way, it'll make the difference between getting destroyed or getting or standing your ground.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Right. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you got the Palatine Blades Aquiline squad from the Legacies. Because did you remember in the first edition of Heresy, Palatine Blades could take jump packs? Thankfully, Forge World did. So, do we call it Forge World or Warhammer or whatever? Games Workshop or whoever.
Well,
whoever wrote the rules remembered. And in the Legacies of the Dark Age, you can have 30 points per model. That's 30 instead of 28 points per model to give them a jump pack to make them more mobile and deep strike and charge as well, which is cool. So yeah, if you've got Hereticus, give them Walk Scream, because then providing rending 5+ on Hammer of Wrath 2 when using the jump packs for a charge. So that is 6 wounds potentially before your opponent
through the Legacies
chance to retaliate.
Whereabouts are they in the Legacies document?
Oh, I'll pull it up now. They were in the 1.1 version of Legacies. Horus Heresy. Jump to resource type, Legacy of the Dark Age. Legacies of the Dark Age Legion known as the Astartes. I can see them having to split this into Legion specific units. Where is it?
I can't see him, but that don't mean nothing because I got one peeper.
Palatine Blade 75, page 75.
Well, I've got that as Rylanor the Undying, Unyielding.
It's the one
Okay.
before Rylanor the Unyielding. Have you got the most recent version?
Apparently not.
Because this was added in the update on the second
I've
update.
just got the old. Okay, I was just looking at the old one that's still on my iPad for some reason.
Yeah. So
okay, cool.
So
cool,
it's
cool,
£195 points for the squad.
£195.
30 points for additional. Everything else is the same, but these become great. These are great.
Yeah, I mean, stuff with jump packs, give it to me.
Yeah.
Stuff with jump packs that can do cool stuff, even more so.
So yeah, if you can get a hold of some jump packs, grab them, and do these.
It would look good on those. The old, the very old Chaos Space Marine Raptor jump packs with those beautiful arched intakes.
Oh, I wish Games Workshop would make those separate because they would be beautiful. They'd be really beautiful on some of these units, especially your Night Lords. Anyway, right. So, do you want to talk to us about
the next one? Cacophony Squads, yeah, heavy metal.
I love these.
Punk band. Wannabes. Right, let's have a look. Priced 150 points for a squad of 5 of them. 25 points per model for the next up to 5. They are a raucous bunch armed with the Cacophony. Each member boasts Ballistic of 4 and wields the formidable 36-inch Strength 6 AP 5 Assault 3 weapon. It's got pinning, shell shock, deflagrate, and everyone's favorite, gets hot. Now, I played against an army with this unit in version 1, and they killed more of themselves than I did by failing all their gets hots. And
that's just fluffy.
Yeah, absolutely. They have
these
bolt pistols.
These are nice. These are better than, they look better than Noise Marines in In 40K.
Well,
I've seen more of these used as Noise Marines in 40K than I have as in 30K, to be honest.
Fair enough. So they have bolt pistols and they have sonic shriekers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Always useful. The orchestrator leading can take artificer armor, and he can take chainsword or power weapon or a power fist. They can only be taken by traitor forces and are fearless. They can opt for a Rhino's dedicated transport, and as a unit they serve as a mobile pinning threat, 36 inches, capable of inflicting 3 wounds against 3+ saves and approximately 1 wound against 2+ saves. God, there's a proper maths here, Mr. B. The Shell Shock 1 pinning effect has a 42% chance to affect leadership 8 units. And it's noteworthy.
It surprised me how willing Emperor's Children's players were just to talk me through maths.
Good lord. And it's noteworthy that multiple Cacophony squads, are they sure they weren't Iron Warriors players? Because this is Iron Warrior level.
Possibly. Arithmetic war.
Yeah, absolutely. It's noteworthy that multiple Cacophony squads can force multiple pinning tests on the same target.
I thought that would kind of
their
cool.
Fearless trait ensures they won't flee from casualties, and their immunity to being pinned down by the opponent's ranged attacks is valuable, especially considering the potential losses gets hot with only 1 Marine per model. And that's having artificer armor on the sergeant to be the bullet magnet.
Yeah, that annoys me, the fact they're only 1 wound. I think they would be better if they were 2 wounds. But then again, every unit would be, wouldn't it? But
yeah, find me a unit that wouldn't be.
I mean, I suppose
I think they're super cool. I think they they are so ingrained in the
Emperor's Children's
Legion's
lore,
particular. Yeah, super cool. And also the fact that weapon is assault, so they can just stroll around,
Oh yeah,
dishing out
flamers.
discordant nuisance like a high school band. Then yeah, awesome, super cool. What can they take as? So they only take they can only take a rhino, unless a particular rite of war, I guess, allows them to take.
Yeah. I imagine
something
these
else.
coming out of a drop pod would be absolutely epic.
Oh, Mr. Bean, that's exactly what the old noggin was trying to process. That's exactly what he was thinking. Chuck those in, chuck them around the back of the lines, pin everybody left, right, and centre. Deflagrate as well on that thing. Oh, lovely.
Oh yeah.
No.
They're
Beautiful.
Their weapons are amazing. Okay, cool. I tried for a few months to get the rights to the song, to license the song Noise Marine from D-Rock to put in the end of this
fair
episode.
enough.
But I could not, for the life of me, find out who holds the rights to get a license off, because Games Workshop were all like, well, we don't hold it anymore, and we don't know who does.
It's not.
And then they don't have a website. It's not available on any streaming services. I just cannot find a way to get in contact with them. I even tried Brian May, and his response was no idea anymore. Because I probably was his generic a personal assistant or whatever. But yeah, because he used to hang out with me back in the day. So okay, this one has a mark saying
the lengths you go to, Mr. B.
I tried because I love that song, and it's really hard. And I was so, my CD has actually started to fall, get disc rot, and I'm like, oh god, it should be the last. And I hope they release it someday. It's a great album, D-Rock, Oblivion, great. Okay, Sunkiller Squad. I was supposed to keep my finger on a beat button for Graham here, but he's not here, so okay, cool. Restricted to 0 to 1, and with very, very good reason. They are 185 points for a squad of 5 and 40 points per model beyond that. They are a specialized ballistic skill 5 heavy support squad that distinguishes itself with elegant energy weapons. They come initially with las cannons, which they can exchange for Volkite culverins. Why would you? Plasma cannons, maybe. Or multi-melters, perhaps, for no additional cost, along with chainswords too. The Noviator, a pivotal figure in the squad, is able to get a charnable weapon and has the option to swap the Bolt las cannon for a Power Fist for 5 points, or a bolter or combi weapon Lightning Claw for free, and can also take a Melter Bomb. Again, why would he take anything else? The thing is, these guys can deny cover and mitigate saves. They have a capacity to reroll ones to wound against a designated quarry, and that includes super heavy units, knights, titans, gargantuan creatures. Like you see many of the gargantuan creatures. And they add 1 to the roll on the vehicle damage table against the designated quarry. So that enhances their anti-vehicle capabilities by a lot. They can take a Rhino or Land Rover Proteus, carry it as a dedicated transport, and in games that have fortifications, they can choose a defense line instead of a transport. Now, they cost a lot when you compare them to the Legion heavy support squads with las cannons, multi-melters, but ballistic skill 5, ignore cover, mitigation rolls, explodes from penetrating hits against chosen targets. 33% chance of AP2 and a +1 modifier to the roll. I mean, why wouldn't you take these? If you're an Emperor's Children player and you're not taking a squad of 10 of these, you're doing it wrong. Which annoys me, because you shouldn't have a unit that is like this, that is, you have to take it.
It's an auto.
It's an auto include. Yeah. It's annoying. They really should be more expensive, but they didn't change that in Exemplary Battles. But there you go. You have the squad that is one of the biggest bugbears in the game at the minute.
They weren't, just checking that they weren't.
They were not changed at all in Exemplary Battles. They literally just copied and pasted. And
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering
I've
if
been a bit hard.
FAQ'd at all. Hang on a second. Just clicked on the wrong one.
They're
Reckless.
a bit of an annoying one. I really
No,
wish they'd been
no.
FAQ'd, but yeah, no.
Yeah,
did
no,
not.
they are.
They should
They
have
are
done.
still as they were.
It's crazy.
Very
They're
cool.
ridiculously good. They're just too good. 5 points more a model.
Yeah. But you can only take one of them. So it's not like you can. It's not like you're rocking.
True.
I think is a definite. If you could just take them and not have to worry about it, then I think then you would be in serious
the 1 to 0
grounds
to 1
for...
is good reasons, and I'm not surprised. But anyway, Sun Killers. I wouldn't be surprised if they feature in both of our lists.
Depraved individuals you're ever likely to see in a game ever created.
We're not starting with
As
one,
far as Emperor's Children characters. Rylanor the Unyielding. Mr. B has put here that he is an effing badass.
Oh, he is.
Okay, let's looks up thing. The Ancient of Rights, the last survivor of Isfahan 3. Is he the last survivor of Isfahan 3?
Yes. Absolutely. Because he survives into the 41st millennium.
Okay. I mean, I don't worry about that sort of nonsense.
Basically, after it's all done and dusted, he just sits there and waits, and then eventually builds a way of sending out a communication to Fulgrim to say, "Come get me, Daddy, I'm stuck." And then when Fulgrim turns up, basically goes, "Right, sod you, I'm going to kill you," and makes an attempt at Fulgrim's life, even when Fulgrim says, "I can fix it so you can be a man again."
Where can I just very quickly, as I've just closed a load of things down?
Yeah.
Where is Rylanor's?
He's a legacies unit, I'm afraid.
That's right. And that's just where I need to go. That's fine. So I had to open everything up again. Let's just quickly. Ninja Starties, Legacy, Son of the Dark Age. Right. So he's 250 points. He is a Contempt Dreadnought. Is a loyalist within the 3rd Legion, having, as we just discussed, survived. He has a 35-point premium over a standard Dreadnought. He has a Carey's Assault Cannon Heavy Flamer in his fist. He has an extra wound and attack, boosting his durability and combat prowess, as well as impressive leadership value of 10. Let's have a look at Mr. Rylanor. And I've just clicked on the wrong thing to open, haven't I? No, that's the right thing.
He's an okay unit, but as a character in the series, he's pretty...
76. He's
sort of part of the reason why people got warning of the attack.
So he is
very important, because he basically, Saul Tarvis was meant to go to the surface to die, but Rylanor sort of swapped places with him. So Saul Tarvis was on the what was the Emperor's Children flagship called? I can't remember. On the flagship when and figured out what was happening and was able to start warning people down below, and made his way down there.
Gotcha.
So he
does have
plus absolute badass.
Crusader.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So am I taking him over a normal Dreadnought?
Depends.
Extra attack, 5 attacks on the charge.
For me, it comes down to am I taking a Istvan Fiend Loyalist force? Yes, I'm taking him.
Fair enough.
That's me.
Fair.
Otherwise,
That's your- no,
possibly
that's-
not.
It's a Crusader these days. Can't remember.
If I'm not
Can't
in that Fiend Force, it really depends. Because as I said, he's a badass. But
So rolls an extra dice. He gets an extra dice when you make sweeping advances. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose.
but he's not like the most amazing sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Melee dreadnought, is he?
No, but, well, weapon skill 6, 5 attacks for the charge, with a power fist, chucking out brutal
Well,
2 or 3. I mean,
pretty good, aren't they?
he's as dreadnoughts go, he's certainly in the top bracket of punchiest dreadnoughts around.
Fair enough.
Yeah, very cool. But again, legacies of the Dark Age. So
Hit or miss, they can be.
Yep. Hit or miss, yeah.
Hit or miss. They're either brilliant or meh.
Yeah.
It's annoying we have the
I don't
legacies.
dislike him at all.
It's just annoying.
He is an
exemplary
elite's choice.
Yeah, he is. Okay. Then we have Lord Commander Eidolon. So this is
the person that Graham hates the most in the Heresy, I believe, after Erebus, I think.
It's a cool model.
Great model.
It's a great model. I really love the model. But yeah, apparently someone sculpted this in their spare time, as the story goes from back in the day. Oh, do you know they've got the 360-degree back now?
Oh, thank God.
In some of the cases, you can go even. They've added extra angles in some of them,
Well, that makes sense.
so you can look at them
Do
from
some new stuff on the website rather than just.
Yeah, but yeah, Eidolon's quite nice. And I love the jump pack he's got. Anyway, so rule wise, he is the third. He's the third Legion's Lord Commander, once known for pride and arrogance, and how he's a traitor-only praetor with a jump pack, architect pistol, and master-crafted thunder hammer named Glory Eternia, which defies.
I've never seen a more master-crafted thunder hammer than his master-crafted thunder hammer.
Oh, I know.
It is,
and it's
a
not
thing of beauty.
It's not a specialist weapon, and it doesn't have unwieldy on the charge. He also has sonic shriekers and a special sonic lance called the Death Scream, featuring rending 6+ instead of breaching 6+. Which do you think is better?
There's some rending because it's useful against vehicles.
That's a good point. Warlord trait is Prideful Onslaught, which basically says your opponent's HQ or Primarch unit is a rival, and his unit get +1 to hit against the rival. And they can only declare reactions against the rival, but Eidolon's first reaction each turn is free and doesn't reduce the number of reactions for other units. If the rival destroys a friendly squad or forces a fleet, Eidolon and his squad gain +1 to wound against it. That's not bad at all.
That's not shabby.
But I wouldn't pick a Primarch as a rival, because he might hit them first, but he's not really gonna take on a Primarch, because they can
say that. But
I think they've got enough wounds to withstand his brutal 2 from his hammer.
For 5 attacks on the charge.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be hitting on Shrieker.
Yeah.
So he's hitting. So his weapon skill 7.
Mm-hmm.
So he's hitting a Primarch. Most Primarchs on 4s.
Yep.
At initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna do.
Oh, I think he'll do some damage, but I don't think
chunk of wounds.
I don't think he's going to come the winner. Although to be fair, if he takes on other toughness 4 characters, I think he's going to beat pretty much all of them, except maybe. Well, I've listed here things like Sevatar, Corswain, Lucius. He's going to struggle against. and he might not do so well against Sigismund and Fafnir Ran. Because they're gonna.
Just trying to think. No, because he can brutal his way through people. He doesn't. Sigismund's got Eternal Warrior, but that's not really going to make any difference. Can't be instant death, but he can just get wounded out.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. The blade. What's the black sword do these days? Can't remember.
Don't get me wrong, he's going to have a decent chance, but I don't think he's also going to kill them. I think they're more going to have a fight.
Because the black sword, instant death, strength +2, AP2. So it doesn't go. Hang on. Goes at the same time as him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going with Sonic Shrieker. He's weapon skill 7, so he's hitting on 4s as well. I think Eidolon will probably win because he'll be doing 2 attacks for every 1 wound. Doing 2 wounds for every 1 successful wound.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. And he only needs to wound Sigismund twice to kill him. Whereas Sigismund needs to wound him however many wounds he's got, 4 or 5 times if that makes sense. So Eidolon's only got 3 wounds though. But yeah, I think Eidolon's fairly useful.
Oh yeah, he's definitely useful. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that.
Well, when I say he's fairly useful, I mean he's pretty good at what he does.
Oh yeah, he's excellent.
Plus he can do pinning. Yeah, he's super good. And the fact that weapon is not unwieldy when he charges is just absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I mean he's not invincible. But yeah, if you give him palatines with jump packs, I think that's going to be a fairly tasty.
He's got a jump pack as well.
Yeah, he's got jump pack. Yes.
So he's got Hammer of Wrath. Yeah, I think Eidolon would beat Sigismund.
Yeah, but he's an excellent character.
That makes me sad.
He's definitely one of the best melee characters in the game.
Yeah. Anything other than the Primarch, I would think he's going to do pretty well against. Yeah, absolutely. He's super cool.
I definitely favor him, but there's some that I think he's just anything with instant death. I think it's going to depend on,
Well, he's Eternal Warrior, so it doesn't matter.
Yep. Oh, was he? Oh, I missed that. Damn it. Okay, that might happen.
He should be. If he's not, I'd be surprised. By Jove, he isn't. You know what? Yeah. I thought he would be because he's a named character. They always used to be.
Yeah.
Oh no. In second thought, right? Yeah, he's dead. Sigismund is going to just 1 wound him and kill him outright. It's weird.
Yeah, that was my
Eternal Warrior.
That was my thinking. Pretty much a lot of characters he's gonna absolutely hammer.
Yeah, no.
But he's not. With that Eternal Warrior. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. That's what I was working with.
Yeah, no. That's
he's not.
That's absolutely fine. I was under the assumption of living in a different universe, apparently, that most of the super named characters, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he is. He's one of those.
Typhon had Eternal Warrior, but none of them do. Interesting. Yeah, no. Sorry, chap.
Eternal Warrior is quite rare now.
It's on the traitor side by the look of it.
Okay. What about good old Saul Tarvitz?
Saul Tarvis. Right, literally good old Saul Tarvis. First Loyalist and line captain the Emperor's children. Tarvis assumed the de facto leadership of the Loyalist force in Isfahan 3. He is only a Loyalist character, can't be taken as a traitor force. He is a force multiplier, offering additional shooting phase reactions and generating a fearless aura of 12 inches around him, ensuring fearless status under specific conditions, such as when his army has fewer victory points or units than the opponent at the start of a turn, when he's in the 16th objective, or when he and his unit are outnumbered in combat. All of the situations I regularly find myself in. So, hello, Loyalist Emperor's children.
He's a very tasty unit. Thematically, you're only going to use him in Isfahan stuff because that's where he died. But
right, armed with a mastercrafted charnable broadsword, a two-handed strength, +2 AP dash, rending 4+, and duelist edge. Charnable weapon. Tarvis excels in close combat. Additionally, he wields a mastercrafted Nemesis bolter, enabling him to snipe minor characters and cause pinning. He has relentless, so he can shoot and move. And against Emperor's children and his specialization against Emperor's children involves preferred enemy status against them, and the unique rule called a brother betrayed. This rule grants him +1 weapon skill, +1 strength, and +1 toughness when fighting traitor Emperor's children independent characters. If the opponent's character is killed, Tarvis earns a victory point. Is that an additional one on top of Slay the Warlord, I assume, etc.?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. Just as it's not just. I suppose it's only independent characters. Saul Tarvis.
And he is in the main rules.
Gains a +1 bonus victory point, in addition to any others gained. Cool.
He's not bad, is he?
Oh, it's while they're engaged in a challenge as well, so they've got to be in a challenge to do it. So it can't just be in the combat mixed in. They have to be in a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. The Fearless Bubble, operation in various situations, significant tactical advantage, akin to Broken Mirror Warlord trait, but slightly better. However, despite his ability to strike first in most scenarios, his effectiveness as a duelist against other praetors is limited. He gets less than 1 wound on average, increasing to blimey. The maths, ladies and gentlemen, has got.
I just said Emperor's children players are like really maths heavy.
So they need to change their legions. Increasing to 1.5 if they are all 4+ to wound, or decreasing to half a wound if not against praetors armed with thunder hammers or power fists. He proves to be a mediocre duelist. Most people are. If you give him some bold blind, we're getting psychers involved now. With biomancy support, Tarvis becomes a formidable adversary against Emperor's children and independent characters, including Eidolon and Lucius, as well as multi-wound toughness 4 units, accompanied by such characters.
Emperor's children players, the way they flipping think. It's like, oh yeah, but you take this for this, and it's I regret going in and asking for advice.
They're the wrong player, the wrong legions, as far as I'm concerned.
I should have just asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, absolutely. Initiative 8 though. Initiative 8 is pretty useful, isn't it? Cool. While he remains the loyalist, fearless to any army he leads, the absence of Fulgrim, surgical augments, one right forward company scores limits the available options and synergies inherent to the Emperor's children. Yeah, that is
I mean, you take him, it's basically you've got a very vanilla type of thing. But at the same time, it's still a really cool idea for a themed force in that.
It is, absolutely. Cool.
But he's like, as I said,
like
the first
him.
loyalist, because he's
I
the
don't
first.
like him enough.
Yeah, he's the first one that sort of realized that the betrayal was happening, and he set everything in motion. He warned Garrow. He went down to the planet. He got everyone into their shelters, and yeah. And he's been in the game a long, long time. Like, as in he had cards in the original trading card game back in was it the 90s or 2000s?
So
it was yeah. So he's long in the law. Long in the law. Anyway, right. Let's
mulling over whether to go traitor or loyalist.
Okay. Captain Lucius, the Faultless Blade, captain of the 13th Company, a close friend of Tarvit's. He turned notorious traitor and is a praetor with a distinctive focus on duels and challenges. His obsession with perfection in melee combat is evident in his enhanced stat line and unique weapon loadout. An additional point each in weapon skill and initiative. He's pretty tough in a one-on-one combat. He's got a mastercrafted sword called 19, which gives Rending 3+ and Murderous Strike 6+. And it has Duelist Aegis, which grants him +1 weapon skill when engaged in a challenge. And he also has a weapon called Blade of the Lear. I can't remember it. A mastercrafted strength user AP2 specialist weapon with Fleshbane and Duelist Edge. So he can basically strike at an initiative 7 and inflict instant death on his opponents in challenges. But obviously he loses +1 attack, which is a shame. No, he loses +1 attack. He's got a specialist weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his weapons is a specialist weapon. His other one is not, as far as I saw.
It's not. No, they're both.
Yeah. So he's got a warlord trait. Blade alone gives fearless to him and his unit when he's in a challenge, and combine that with stubborn and preferred enemy independent characters, and that's a pretty effective unit and effective in challenge and very resilient. And he can buy Sonic Shriekers for 10 points, just 10 points. So that's not bad at all, is it? So he can take down weapon skill 7 opponents with his, and with his Sonic Shriekers and high weapon skill. And he's basically, they can end up in a situation where they can only hit him on a 6+. The strategy.
Well,
sorry.
Precision strikes 3+.
Yeah. One of the things I was talking is have him. The strategy that I was told was where is it? I've written it down here. Tanking hits on him, seeking instant death with 19 against initiative 6 opponents. So he obviously loses the +1 attack from his Supreme Duelist rule on the second turn, because he's got got rule that gives him an attack on the first turn for Salt. So yeah, that's quite an interesting thing, because he's basically trying to tank wounds on him and looking for the instant death.
Yeah.
You got 2 different weapons there, because I mean,
Rending
19
3+. I mean,
yeah, 19 is going to be better against initiative 5 characters with multi-wound models or anything with D3 wounds rather than instant death. And the Blade of the Lear is going to take on your initiative 6 characters in challenge and just strike faster on the second turn of the assault. It does seem like they've got an imbalance there, but Duelist Aegis applies to the Blade of the Lear as well.
Yeah. So thinking, strengths user AP2, so it's always wounding on 2+. So wounding on 2+ AP2 at initiative whatever 6.
Mm-hmm.
gets +1 for attacks, so 5 attacks. Yeah. What am I taking? What am I attacking things with?
I like that idea of trying to try looking for the instant death. It depending on who you're with. If you
Yeah.
want to get a high initiative, high toughness enemy, I'm going to be looking for that instant death, and I'm going to be trying to go for that. That's what I would do. I agree with that.
Yeah, I suppose 19 is better because 3+, it's always going to be an AP2. Yeah.
Anything but less than that, I'm going to look for that. I'm going to be
if I'm fighting something high toughness, such as a dreadnought, I would probably take the Blade of the Lear because I'd then does Fleshbane attack for effect dreadnoughts? I can't remember.
Fleshbane, no, I don't think it does. I don't think so.
Oh, I can't remember. Don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because otherwise I'd be using it all the time with my Death Guard flaming squads.
No, I don't think. I can't remember now. Because some things in that brackets does and some things don't. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Probably the 19 is the better option, just a bit more flex. But neither of them are bad choices. Not massively keen on the model, if I'm honest with you.
Oh yeah, it's not.
He does have his tactical rock, which is always a pleasant thing to see.
I do. I don't particularly. I'm not as keen on this model as I am on. I think it'd be better if he had a helmet.
Also,
he does have a helmet.
If he's a master duelist, there are far too many scars on his face. That's all I'm saying.
He makes them himself.
Oh yes, of course he does.
Does them himself.
Bloody Lucius and his nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Out of the 3 normal non-Primarch characters, Mr. B, where does your preference lie? Regardless of traitor or loyalist, where are you?
I think it's going to be Eidolon. I think Eidolon.
Yeah. Super cool. That Thunderhammer is.
I just think he's a bit more interesting in combat. That's not to say the others aren't interesting. I just think he's
interesting in combat is definitely the watchwords.
I just think he's going to be a lot more. I think he's got a lot more going for him in terms of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Super cool. Right, okie dokie. So, this is where things get complicated because we've got 2 Primarchs, the same chap. However, once before and once after the corruption takes place. So I will be doing him before he got all scaly and leggy on us all, or not leggy on us all, so to grow a couple of extra arms and become a snake man, which is a super cool model.
Hey,
mind you,
would you not become a snake?
I hate snakes.
Oh, fair enough then. I'm not the biggest fan either.
Can't stand the buggers. I'm not becoming a big giant snake man with 4 arms. I'll become whatever. Bloody hell, Death Guard bloke he is. Big moth creature instead.
Oh yeah, Mortarion. Oh, he's got beautiful.
Yeah, Mortarion. Yeah, I'll become Moth-Tarion instead.
I need to pull mine out of storage and get him on display.
Yeah. Right. Fulgrim the Phoenician, the Prefector of Chemos, High Lord of the Emperor's Children, 425 of your fine points. This individual will set you back. He has got Weapon Skill 8, very useful. Initiative 8, 9 during a challenge, or on the charge with sudden strike rule, which further increases to 10 during a challenge. So, jeez, lose initiative 10. Woof. He has Sublime Swordsman, which gives him additional attacks for each point his initiative surpasses his opponents in a challenge. Wow.
Oh yeah.
He has 6 to start with. So I'm just trying to think. If he goes up to initiative 10, blimey, he's knocking out 10 attacks potentially on some people. Okay, that's unpleasant. And he has Emperor's Children allows him to strike at 1 initiative step higher, but does not grant an additional attack. Okay, good. That's a relief. That is a relief. He has the Gilded Panoply. His armor is a 2 plus 4 plus Invuln, becoming 3 plus Invuln against melee attacks. And he wields Firebrand, a mastercrafted strength 6 AP for 12-inch pistol with Deflagrate and Shred. Well, we're not worried about that at all. Keep that gun to yourself, mate. That's not what we're here for. What we're here for are these things. He has got 2 choices. He has 2 choices of sword, much like Sanguinius with his spear sword combo. The wolf with his 2 swords, rocking around with all these weapons, these Primarchs, not sharing.
Well, only good old the lion has to choose which one he's taking for the whole game.
Yeah, blimey, he's no slouch. Anyway, Blade of the Lair. User AP2, Duelist Edge, Fleshbane, Mastercrafted specialist weapon.
Same as Lucius.
So the same thing.
They can't have
Lucius,
it.
Yeah.
If they're both on the same field, Lucius has to drop 40 points because he can't take the Blade of the Lair.
Okay. There's not 2 of these things rocking around. There's just the one that they share.
Yeah.
Until, Fulgrim goes, here, have this. Okay, cool. Or Fireblade. +1 strength. So that makes him strength 7. AP2. Murderous Strike 5+, Mastercrafted specialist weapon for Fireblade. Okay. Volume of attacks is unpleasant. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm trying to think. 6 wins, initiative 8. So he's going to get 6, 7. Say he always goes initiative 1, step higher, 8, 9, yeah. Yeah. He's pretty cool.
Oh, he is.
He does feel... He does... 3+ Invuln in those fights as well.
He's not he's not really a supportive Primarch. He's very much an offensive Primarch.
If there's anyone who... if anyone who isn't a supportive Primarch, it's certainly Fulgrim, and he's definitely offensive. Just thinking, 75 points more expensive than Valdor. Who's winning in that fight in my head? Probably because Valdor also has a 3+ Invuln. Valdor's just 6. So Fulgrim wins every day of the week. Super cool. Do I think he's up there with the top tier Primarchs? Probably not. There's
many Primarchs in which he would struggle, but
he's only tough for 6, so he's not tanking.
Unless you're getting Primarchs involved in the fight, he's gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I do like him. I do like him in his original mode. I also like model an awful lot. Yeah, I don't like the fact he has 10 attacks.
I'm told apparently you shouldn't take him without a A librarian. I don't know what power you go with him, but apparently you should take him with a librarian.
I'm sure there's any number of things that would make him unpleasant.
Oh, yeah. Should I go through the next one? The last of our entries?
The last of our entries, Mr. B.
The resplendent figure that we call Snakeman. A demon Primarch.
Snakeman.
Possesses special rules like move through cover, among others. Notably, if including an attachment, it has to be Legionis Hereticus instead of Legionis Astartes. So he will lock you into that. Nobody else will, but he will. He has a new warlord trait, the Avatar of Perfection, which compels his unit to charge any enemy unit within 12 inches, featuring at least one model equipped with weapon skill 6 or above. And upon reaching the enemy, he has to issue a challenge. And if accepted by the model with weapon skill 6 or above, excluding Primarchs and Demon Primarchs, he hits on a 2+ regardless of weapon skill. Mirroring his own human self, he gains a free reaction every turn. So, yeah, that's interesting because basically it means that in challenges against weapon skill 5 enemies, he's going to hit on a 3+. Everyone else here hit on a 2+. Just weapon skill 5, he'll hit on a 3+.
6 or more than 2. Hang on. During the combat's charge, and any in his path must attempt to charge if there are any enemy units that contain any models with an unmodified weapon skill of 6 or more within 12 inches. And at least one of these enemy units must be declared as the target of the charge. Okay. Note that this does allow a unit that contains a model of this warlord trait to charge a different unit to this one. Unit this.
Oh, I know it's a convoluted mess.
Make a shooting text. Okay, what? In the subsequent fight phase, the control player must issue a challenge and must nominate a Fulgrim to be the challenger. Challenge accepted by an enemy unit with weapon skill 6 or more that does not have the Primarch. Yeah, but he won't be hitting them on a. His weapon skill 8. Is it a 3+? Weapon skill 8 to weapon skill 5? It feels like it should be less than that. Let's have a look. Weapon skill 8. Yeah, weapon skill 5. Wow,
Did my research.
That's weird, isn't it? You did.
Everything...
No, I don't. It's not that I doubt you, Mr. B. It's just that I have to get it straight in my head, if that makes sense.
I know, it doesn't sound right, does it? It's like, wait, what? I was just reading this and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. What? And then I was like, oh, right.
So
okay.
he just doesn't bother as much, basically.
Or it's like it's that perfect level of skill where he's like, okay, I respect you, but I'm putting together a new playlist for next week's tickle session.
2 of my arms are busy. Yeah, 2 of my arms are busy. Okay, cool.
It's like I respect you enough, but I don't respect you enough to try hard. And you don't insult me enough to that I try harder. I don't, it's just like a weird one.
Yeah,
okay.
A weird little. Yeah, that's very odd.
It's a weird demon. Yeah. So his weapon profile.
Because everything.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's just odd that there's that one little slither between.
I mean,
he can't hit everything on a 2+.
Is this a case of the book was maybe? I'm going to say something maybe controversial here. Was the book not necessarily the most well researched? Put together, well, not researched, but most well written book. So I think everybody's got opinions on exemplary battles. Everyone has an opinion on it.
Just seems odd that you would go, everything from 1 to 4, 2+. Everything above 6, 2+. However, against people, weapon skill 5, so. The intermediate ability people, they're harder for him to hit.
I know. It's like
Jeff and the beginner class are too easy, but I'm going to put extra effort in against the other guys over here. But this exact group of people, I won't bother too much. Very bizarre. I mean, I get sort of the demonic kind of like.
It's just Slaanesh is cursing with a little bit of trick of nature. He's like, you're going to be great against everybody except people in this one little skill bracket.
Apart from this one group of individuals. Okay, that is. How many points is he, by the way? Just average. How many more points is he than his previous incarnation? 600 points and a weapon skill 5 guy can hold him. Okay. Right. Okay.
As I think it may be just adding to the opinion that maybe Exemplary Battles Volume 1 was not all it was promised to be, and not necessarily the best play tested and fought out.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not trying to say the
points, Mr. B.
Yeah.
What else do I get?
I'm not trying to say the book was a cash grab, but yeah. Okay. His combined weapon profile.
Money.
He's got 2 profiles on his weapon. Strength user AP2, decapitating slashes with murderous strike 4+, to get rid of your lesser foes, and a high-powered strength +3 AP1 thundering blows with brutal 2, but 3 attacks due to wrathful blows 3. So he gets the standard 2+, 4++. He gets 1+ to his ill will not die rolls when at 4 wounds or lower. And if he's not engaged in combat at 2 wounds or lower, he can flee back to the wall without allowing opponents to score objectives related to his demise. So
just very quickly, Mr. B.
Go on, yeah.
So those the sundering blows, although they're higher strength, he doesn't get as many attacks.
Yeah.
He only gets 3 attacks for that, as opposed to his normal weapons profile. Sorry, just in case people are going, oh, great, +3 strength, AP1, brutal 2 at 8 attacks potentially on the charge.
He can have a few low powered hits, or he can have 3 high powered hits. Basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're losing, he's on 2 wounds and you've got, I don't know, Rogel Dawn about to come and get in combat with him and go, I'm gonna kick you back to, the warp or whatever, and go, well, I'm gonna go back to warp anyway. I'm gonna go back. And basically deny you the Slay the Warlord traits. Not traits, points.
Yeah, he only has doesn't he? So he doesn't have his 3++ in combat anymore.
Nope.
He does get +1 for his will not die.
But he's got some interesting things. For example, he can fly. He can move 14 inches at flying, or add 14 inches to his run move. But on his own, I don't think he's that great. You've got no 3++, no bonus attacks for higher initiative in challenges. You don't have the leadership 10. You can't deny the reactions. So he's fairly limited compared. And his increased cost.
Yeah, 175 extra points to be able to fly does not particularly excite me.
Yeah, I mean, yes, you get the flat 2+ against everything unless it's weapon skill 5.
But yeah, again, that would annoy me. The murder strike 4+ as opposed to 5+, but I'm going to be more vulnerable in combat because I've got a 3+ invulnerable save in combat.
Yeah, he needs a boyfriend.
I don't know. Other than the fact that I want to whack that model down and go and admire this beautiful thing.
Amazing model. It's just, I think the rules have fallen short.
Yeah, he's okay. For a 600 point guy, I'm not massively sold on.
It's over a 1/6 of your army.
Yeah,
it's a huge
he's
point
a lot of points for what he is.
You're gonna have to. You've got no choice. You're gonna have to take a decent boyfriend squad. You're stuck with the Legiones Hereticus rules. which aren't amazing. I just think he's kind of
So he's strength.
I think they've missed the shot with him.
So let's go with.
Yeah, I don't want to be overly critical, but I think they've not quite grasped what an extra 600 points means it should perform like on the tabletop. I mean, this isn't
so if I can compare him to Sanguinius again. So Spirit of Telesto, Strength 10, AP 1, two-handed Mastercrafted, Lance, and Exo Shot. But he can have his full attacks with that, which is 7 attacks potentially on the charge. He's weapon skill 8. So say weapon skill. He's not as tough as him, but he flies as quickly as he does. And he can re-roll failed and vulnerable saves when he charges. So between those two, who's coming out of that punch up? Probably Sanguinius. Mind you, the wounds are bulky, aren't they? The wounds are brutal too, with thundering blows, but it's only 6 wounds in theory.
Do not get me wrong. If I had an Empress Children army, he would be he will be in it. Not necessarily on the table, but he will be a model I owned.
I've owned the model. I would probably more inclined to take the normal Fulgrim than I would Fulgrim Transfixed. He saves me a ton of points, so I can buy almost a Phoenix Terminator squad for the points difference.
Yeah,
and I think that'd be more useful to then roll around with Sanguinius, roll around with Fulgrim pre-change than the points that this would cost me just on its own.
And it shouldn't be like this way. I'm sorry, Games Workshop, on this one, you've missed a step. Please redo these rules at some point, or just cut his points. If you cut his points to the same level as what his points are before he's transformed, I think we're having a different conversation.
I think that'd be too much. I think there's a middle ground.
Yeah.
Between those two states, if that makes sense.
He's not worth 600 points.
He is not worth 600 points.
And you know me, plus, I'm all about theme, but I just can't see ever wanting to take Demon Fulgrim in an army unless it's for an actual campaign day with a set thing. I would not want to take him ever because he's just too much.
Yeah, 175 points to that model as well. Yeah.
Oh, I mean the model, gorgeous. The model is absolutely. Although I will tell you this, I would not be surprised if in the next few years we saw this model in plastic for 40k.
I would be very surprised whether you'd end up with
maybe in the next 5 or so years. I'm just saying, in the next 5 or so years, I reckon we'll get a plastic one because Games Workshop have really been on a kick with splitting out those the god specific Chaos Legions.
I would be very surprised if they did a plastic version of this kit because they haven't done so Angron is effectively plastic now, isn't he?
Yeah, and I have a feeling when he gets transfigured or whatever, he will be the plastic kit. Although then again, if they don't do that, I think to be fair, if they don't do that, I think a lot of people will just use the plastic kit anyway. I think it'll be pointless to bring out. This is just me speculating here, but if you came out with a Fulgrim, Mortarion transfigured, and he's a resin kit, I'd be like, well, I've already got him in plastic, so I'll just use that.
We've already got because Angron.
And he's going to be half. It's going to be half the price. Yeah, £100 for Angron, and he's a big model, very big.
Yeah,
model. And he's a brilliant model. He's an absolutely beautiful model.
I mean, Fulgrim is a lot bigger than him though, by the look of it. like a big chunk weighs bigger. Anyway, cool.
Yeah, that's all
I'm taking the
speculation.
normal fulcrum.
I'm taking the normal fulcrum as well. Sorry, transfigure. Anyway, should we, I know we're not going to have a proper list competition this week, but we got lists. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks just because Christmas got in the way, and you know what life is like at Christmas for someone working in the jewelry trade. And
a whole year has been and gone in the time that
been and gone. Yeah. So that happens, but Christmas is a bit of a crazy time. I hope everyone had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope everyone got lots of nice plastic toys to add to their collections of unpainted plastic toys.
I got assembly stands. That's all I got for Christmas related.
Fair enough.
So I've yet to open it.
That's all right.
Happens. But they're actually quite handy. So I've got the old version. So anyway, right, where are we? So yeah, list challenge. Although it's less traditional normal because it's just the two of us. So it's just sort of presenting our lists and sort of saying, do we like them and stuff. So
absolutely.
Criteria is the same. Emperor's Children, and it's interesting because you've got two different types. You've got the Hereticus and the Astartes. So, which way did you go, Chris? Astartes or Hereticus?
I kept it the quote unquote vanilla approach because there were more things that I liked in that list than the Hereticus list. So,
fair enough. So, why don't you tell us what's in your list?
Okie dokie. Let's get the ball rolling. So. My first HQ choice is Lord Commander Eidolon.
Good choice.
Because the man has a jump pack, and if there's one thing this guy loves, it's a man with a jump pack. And a big hammer that you can swing at initiative to really ruin people's day. And I have then taken a Moritat. With choice. A jump pack and 2 disintegrator pistols.
Ooh.
And my third HQ is an Armistos with a las cannon. And I've taken the Rite of War where every character has to have a
the mutation.
The augmentation. Which one is it? Let me just quickly scroll back 2 pages. The third company elite. That's it. Actually, I didn't give my Moritat one. I've just realised. Okay, deal with that in a minute. Right. I need to have the. He has the pinning one. The. Come on, brain. Sonic Lance, that's the right one.
Yes.
Right, and then an Armistos with twin linked heavy las cannon. Las cannon, and Sonic Shriekers as his augment. Because why, Chris? Why have you taken a Moritat? Because now they can do whatever the F they like. Basically, they can join any squad they want, and I think because of that.
Can they?
Yeah.
Oh.
If it's got. I did double check the wording of the FAQ. It's the only bit of the FAQ that's I really worried about. And I guess we'll cover the FAQ next time round, I guess. But let me just, for those of you who didn't read the FAQ and are thinking, this man's gone insane, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, and not for the first time. And probably not for the last time in the next half an hour or so. Libra Astartes FAQ. Come on, load for me, you sneaky weasel. Can a model with independent character and bitter duty special rule join a unit that does not have the bitter duty special rule? Answer, yes. Can a model with independent character, Leisure Studies, Master Legion, and bitter duty special rules select a retinue of any kind that does not have the bitter duty special rule? Yes. So basically, they now just act as fancy HQ choices. They don't have to roll around with destroyer squads anymore. Which is awesome. Because Moritats have these handy little things called rad grenades.
They do.
And rad grenades are super cool.
They are. Playing Death Guard a lot. Yes, they absolutely are.
Absolutely are, because they remove take down toughness by 1 and it affects the instant death threshold. Which brings me on to my first elite choice, and this is from the Legacies PDF. It's a 7 person Aquilay squad, so these are the guys with jump packs.
Yep, the Aquiline Blades with the jump packs. Yes, yeah. Excellent choice.
They have got Sonic Shriekers, and they have spears. They have all got spears, and they have melt bombs. So spears make their attacks toughness 6, which means they have a Moritat in them.
Yeah, double.
That doubles out pretty much everything they're going to come across. Admittedly, they're only AP3, and I am hoping for like Murder Strike and stuff anyway, and Breaching. But I like the fact that I can still instant death people without having to get a 6 with them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a unit that has that is a crazy close combat unit. Oh, he's gone.
Have I?
Oh, your video's gone now.
There
we go.
Oh, I wonder why that happened.
Just snoozed for a second there. If you have a unit that has got like a heavy, like a combat base, I don't know why you wouldn't try and sneak in a Moritat. I did think about
that's
running.
That changes a lot of things now.
Yeah. So Moritat's 105 points. Jump pack on him's 20 points. I took the Disintegrators because there may be occasions where I want him to go and do his own thing, and because you can't chain fire and assault.
Yeah.
So there may be occasions where I think, well, actually, Eidolon and the Aquilay can handle a thing on their own. He can jump out, chain on some people, and then join another unit to give himself bullet magnets.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yes, Moritat's awesome now, I think. And I was a big fan already.
That changed a lot.
Yeah. Super cool.
Although on the one hand, it means we're going to see a lot more of them, which is, I don't know, is that good or?
For someone that has 2 of them, I have 2 of them.
I've got lots of them in my armies, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, just for the fact of rad grenades, there are so few ways to take them, unless you're a certain army that gets every advantage known to humanity.
Yeah, that's going to change a lot of army compositions, I think.
Absolutely, super cool. My second apothecary, second elite choice is 3 apothecaries. They all have to have a thingamajigger because they're all characters. So I gave them all Sonic Lances. One has a jump pack. One has Artificer armor. And they all have charnable glaives, which are +2 strength weapons. So the apothecary can join the Aquilay squad with the Moritat and Eidolon, and he is doing roughly the same kind of output and keeping them alive better than they would be already. And everyone in that unit's got 2+ armor. So it is a bit of a Death Star unit. It's only 10 models total.
Yeah.
So, and no one in there's got Eternal Warrior, so it's not crazy.
I suppose not.
It could have been worse. And the other two apothecaries are just on their feet, and they also have charnable glaives. Just because charnable glaives are pretty cool. Where on to my troops choices.
Yep.
I do apologize. I have an 11-man despoiler unit with 5 heavy chainswords, 2 charnable weapons, a power fist on the sergeant, a Vexalia on one of the units, and they have sonic shriekers.
Nice.
The whole point of this army is basically Emperor's children being super snooty and being like, we are better at swordplay than you are. We're going to hit you better. Hit you easier than you're going to hit us because we are superior. And that's the whole modus operandi of this army, effectively. So the apothecaries have all got the sonic lances. So the sonic lances are a template weapon, and they're pinning. And because the spoilers have got Spite of the Legion, when they attack a pinned unit, I think they get, if I remember correctly, an extra attack. Man, let's up in book very quickly. I haven't got my iPad today, and he's got it, so I'm having to go through. Normally, I can just click on things and Spite of the Legion.
Worst place to put it.
If a charge is declared for a unit that includes at least one model with this special rule, target any unit that has been pinned, falling back, or includes no models for the character type, or the chosen warriors, then all models in the charging unit gain a bonus of +1 attacks for the duration of the assault phase. So they've got sonic shriekers as well, so their opponents are at a disadvantage, and they're getting extra attacks, potentially with the pinning from the apothecaries.
That seems right.
So we're utilizing all of the tools to make it as hard to be wounded with our superior Emperor's Children attitude, and we're just going to come in and take you to pieces, basically. And the Vexilia on there is just in case those guys draw, and just for that extra oomph to get over the line if we need to. We have a second despoiler squad. This exactly the same loadout. They don't have Vexilia on this one.
Do they not?
They do not, because points were.
Oh, right.
Points were at a premium.
Because otherwise, it's a really good choice to have a Vexalia, I think.
It is. I kind of. Yeah. I if I could have found the points for it, I would have. But because that more attack's going to need an augment, I'm going to have to find the points to just trim out for that. So. And I've got 10 points spare anyway, so if I lose this one's Vexalia, that'll give me enough to buy him one of the augments. I have an 8-man cacophony squad.
Yep.
Literally no upgrades at all, just 8 guys rocking out to Sepultura covers and having the best time of their lives. That's my troops choices. So nice and streamlined. Right. Fast attack. My first fast attack choice is a Dreadclaw drop pod.
Oh.
That the cacophony are gonna roll around in.
Okay, that works. That's
up.
A really good idea.
It's a flyer now, so it doesn't get deep strike assault. He says with all the conviction of a man that cannot remember a single rule on a Monday afternoon. But I don't think it does. Dreadclaw drop pod. Don't give me the swirling wheel of coloured doom on a.
Yep.
Damn your eyes. Try it. And it's something on other device that does have the thing he wants. No, you hate me, bloody. But anyway. It's a flyer. It has deep strike, and it can contain 12 models. I've only taken 8 in there, and it does heat blast, but they can disembark. They're not going to assault.
Yeah.
That's not their point. They're going to cause more pinning mayhem for the spoilers for when they get across the table.
Yeah.
Basically. And they, that's them, basically. Nice and simple. The second and third HQ choices.
Yeah.
Fast attack choices, sorry.
All right.
I have a Saber Squad with Neutron Blaster. So just 2 Sabers in the first one, 2 Neutron Blasters, and 2 front-mounted multi-melters.
Now, when you say first one,
yeah, I've got a single one that's rolling around just with a neutron.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, the Neutron Blaster does concussive.
Yeah.
Which means something that takes a hit from it reduces its weapon skill by 3 in this particular weapon's case. Mm-hmm. So I can't do an awful lot about dreadnoughts when they get up close to me, but the Neutron is strength 10 AP1 anyway. Does concussive. So what I'm the on paper theory, when the dreadnoughts get a bit too oppressive or get a bit too close for my personal comfort, sabers roll up, blast it, take off some hull points or wounds these days, sorry, and concuss it down to weapon skill 2, so that all my guys can then attack with a much superior weapon skill, making it harder for the dreadnought to hit them and easier for them to hit them. Plus, it'd be at -1 as well because of strong shriekers. So, yeah. Suck it, dreadnoughts. That's basically the theory. Because they're a pain in the arse, and I didn't want to take a unit. Although this is taking a unit to kill them, this is a unit that can solve the problem in a different way.
Yeah.
And still do other stuff. It can still take out armor that might be rolling around. So yeah, but again, it's all about that showing off their fighting ability, although perhaps slightly underhanded in this way.
Yeah,
but, prowess. On to heavy support choices. I've got a 10-man las cannon squad.
Mm-hmm.
They have the subsonic pulsar, so night fighting isn't a problem for them. And they're going to have the Armistos, who's going to have the Cognis Signum as well. So they're pretty handy. Because they're not requiring anything to be lit up. So they can stand at the back, blast some guy, hitting on 2s, and not have to worry about any penalties or anything like that. So super cool. That subsonic pulsar is ideal for this sort of unit. It's going to be a backline sort of not quarterback, but just going to sit at the back and pick things out, especially in those potentially first 2 turns. And couldn't ignore it. But yeah, just the army stuff is super cheap as well. It surprises me.
It is.
He rocks in quite relatively cheaply. I gave him a las cannon because I wanted him to fit in with the rest of the squad, and it never hurts to have another las cannon lying around.
No, it doesn't.
And because the Armistos has got the Sonic Shrieker, when they're charged, they've got a slightly better chance of surviving any combat they might get themselves stuck into.
Yeah,
because they're going to be a target, and
they are.
But they've got an augury scanner. They've got enough to hopefully ward off enough people trying anything too fancy. And my last 2 choices are 2 Proteus Land Raiders with additional pintle-mounted multi-melters as their defensive weapons.
Yeah.
And that's where the spoilers are going to go, basically. So the spoilers are going to ride around in them because they've got a transport capacity of 12 and 11 plus the 1 apothecary.
Yeah.
Makes it 12. Where is it? They have a... Can't think where it's gone now. Models of Legion Astartes Emperor's Children special rule and the vehicle unit type gain a bonus of +1 to all hit rolls made for defensive weapons when making a shooting attack as part of a reaction.
Yeah.
So if they get charged by a dreadnought, they can Overwatch with a multi-melter hitting at 2+.
Ooh. That is
so
tasty.
Yeah, that I try to. It's on paper, it's a fairly bland kind of every Legion list, but I think the additions that you make into it will make it work.
Yeah, it does seem
more effectively.
Does seem to work quite well.
But yeah, all about the martial prowess. That's all we're worrying about in that
Definitely.
list. That's going
to be a tough one to beat. And again, it's your preference for close combat, so
it's an army that's designed for it. I mean,
yeah, it's not that generic actually. A lot of specific, there's enough in there that it really gives it the flavor.
I mean, I've only taken two rule book special units and one legacy special unit, whereas if you wanted to, you could probably go. Could you though? I suppose you've only got Terminators and Cacophony. I don't know. Anyway, it's what I settled with. I'm pretty happy with it. I like the concept of it. Do I think it'll work in reality? Always the gamble, but
it is.
Who knows? What have you got? Surprise me, Mr. B. Tell me your tale of evil Emperor's children.
Yeah, my Emperor's children aren't that bad. I decided I would go fun, and I would go with Hereticus, and I would go with Children of the Maragavia. I can't pronounce words.
No, and especially when they're made up words by Black Library people. Well,
yeah, so probably got some sort of basis in reality somewhere, but I've decided to go a bit fun.
Okay.
Less about being effective and more about just having a laugh. So we start off with this is where I've got to take an allied detachment of militia.
Gotcha.
So I've taken I'll go through the allied detachment first. So they have got their HQ is a rogue psyker with 5 wardens, and they've all just got close combat weapons and las pistols. No interesting there. So rogue psyker should be fun. I thought that would be very thematic. In my elites, I've taken the field gun battery. That is a Calliope mortar and a thunderblast cannon. So they're a bit heavy, a little bit of heavy support. I don't know how effective they are. I just thought they'd look cool. Plus,
rule of cool, my friend. Rule of cool.
It helps with the budget. My troops are going to be 2 20-man levy squads.
Okay.
So nothing interesting there. Just bayonets and
just your gristle for the grinder. That's all they
just 40 lunatics ready to charge into there. On the Emperor's Children's side, we have Lord Commander Eidolon, just because, as I said, he is
such a cool model. I know he's a douchebag, but
yeah, he's a cool model and his rules are pretty cool. So in the elites, we've gone with a Palatine Blade Aquila squad. So that's there's 10 of them, 4 Phoenix Power Spears. 5 Phoenix Power Spears and 5 Charnable Sabers. Gotcha. And I've got the Abhorrent Sensoria with them. So what's that one do again? It's in here somewhere. It's the based augments in there. Abhorrent Sensoria, that's the precision shots and strikes.
Okay. Yeah.
5+. So 5+ precision strikes. So I think that would work quite well for them. Troops, I've got 2 assault squads, which are actually reasonably similar. Both 10 men. One has got the sergeant has a Phoenix Power Spear. Spear. So I keep trying to say spear instead of spear. It sounds too similar. And I've taken 2 Charnable Sabers.
Okay.
In those squads. And the first squad has Warp Screen. And the second squad also has Melter Bombs. And instead of a spear, they've got a rapier.
Oof.
So they should be very fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think. So Melter Bombs just on the sergeant there. Sorry, not on the whole squad. In fast attack, we've gone with a Sky Hunter squadron with 3 Volkite Culverins, Warp Scream, and Phoenix Power Spear on the sergeant.
Cool.
So again, I think they'll be kind of interesting. In my heavy support, no surprises, a Sunkiller squad, 10-man Sunkiller squad with las cannons.
Wow.
Fair. They are. Yeah, they're really good. And I've also got 2 10-man Cacophony squads, because the Cacophony the Maravalgia is all about the Cacophony. So
yeah, nice.
I think I'd go heavy on them. And then because of the Rite of War requires it, Fulgrim Transfigured.
Blah, blah.
Yep. Big point sink, but yeah.
Big old.
It's the list. It's the list, and yeah.
Big old average. I was gonna. All someone had to do is just cover you in weapon skill 5 opponents, and then your life becomes misery.
Yep. But I figured that would be. I figured this would just be a fun list to play with, because you've got you've got a lot of fast stuff. Then you've got the heavy support, stuff that's just sitting around taking stuff out from afar, and then nutters with a psyker running at you. So
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
This was all about fun rather than.
Yeah, no, that's it. That is ultimately what the game is.
Yeah,
is all
I think
about.
The Heretica stuff is more. You're taking this for the theme rather than the rules. Well, it definitely is. The Hereticus rules are inferior.
I don't think I was going to rock up to a tournament with a Hereticus army with Captain Point Sink.
They need to sort that out. They need to make Hereticus more. That hole needs a rewrite.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it's hard to.
I think the basis of something great is there, but it's not. It's not quite there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool indeed.
I just think it's lacking a certain something.
Yeah. I mean, that whole weapon skill 5 thing is just trash.
Yeah, just lacking a certain something, but it's not far off.
No.
But
anyway, nope.
Very cool. Mean, there's 2 lists. I think if they went up against each other, you're definitely winning that one.
I mean, Fulgrim is still a headache. Not a huge amount that against the Primarch, my list would probably struggle, because you can't affect their toughness because they've got Primarch and their characteristics can't be adjusted.
Yep.
So it's Eidolon doing a lot of work, really, in that situation.
He is.
Squad's relatively easy to kill. I think it'd be an interesting fight, possibly just because sort of the augments in the Liber Hereticus book, I think are better, but you don't get access to them as a Hereticus list, and which is a shame. But I'd like, I think they'd be both good. I didn't come out of writing this list thinking I need to buy this army, which was good because there
Well,
were.
that's good for you.
It is good for me because I was thinking a few times I would quite like Emperor's Children because some of those cool upgrades they can get, but I don't think there's enough there to draw me into the world of worshipping Slaanesh,
Just yet.
which my wife will be happy about because the last thing we need is crab claws appearing in people and stuff like that.
Oh, indeed.
Very cool.
Yeah. So all happy with that.
Yeah, very nice. Good. I do like I know you're a big fan of the fun list, Mr. Bean. I do like your fun lists.
Yeah, I just thought this would be a bit of a laugh as a list.
Yeah, no, that's very cool.
But yeah, I think you've got a lot more to play with in these in the Emperor's Children stuff there.
Yeah, I think you can do some really interesting combinations with how stuff works and interacts with itself.
Definitely.
Yeah, they are fun. I didn't tick the boxes I require them to do. I think because this list would be too similar to stuff that I already have.
Yeah, I think so.
And it would just be having the same army and repainting it purple and white as opposed to red. Cool.
All right. Shall we close out this show then?
Let's finally say goodbye to this show, the much cursed and Emperor's Children. Put it into the annals of history.
Send it to the long grass.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Well, that brings the end to our look at Emperor's Children with the two stalwarts of the Age of Empire team. And don't worry, Graham should be back next episode as soon as he figures out what the key code to that door at GCHQ was to get him out.
Is he still in there?
I told him it wasn't an escape from holiday, but he didn't believe me. So,
it all comes down to that brush we had with the Russians.
That's it. Come back to haunt us. If you'd be so kind, if you've enjoyed the show and you enjoy the show in general, please do leave us some reviews on iTunes, because the more positive reviews we get, the more often we are going to be suggested to other people of like-minded opinions to your good selves.
Yep.
Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. This is now a video format, so you can come and watch our pretty faces
Pretty faces.
Exactly on YouTube. Links are always in the show notes, and also give the Facebook page a like. And also there is the Age of Empire community page on Facebook that collects waifs and strays as they're going along, and is a super chill place for sharing hobby stuff and engaging with people of similar interest. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do. You can post on the Facebook, send us a message on that account, or you can email us at info@edgeofempire.co.uk.
Yep.
And as long as the filters aren't being too fussy, we should all see that. If they are being fussy, we'll turn the emails up at some point once the owls have recovered. If you want to help out the show, we have an affiliate link with Audible, and you can sign up to get your Horus Heresy audiobooks. As we found out a couple of days ago, End in the Death 3 will be coming out fairly soon. So, $7.99, get your token, pre-order that book when it comes out, or order the book when it comes out. Audible does a weird thing with pre-orders sometimes with Black Library books.
They don't put them up until the day it actually comes out.
Yeah. So, but $7.99 is going to be cheaper than any other format of buying or reading or listening to that book. Bear in mind.
Yeah, pretty much.
And if you already have an account, trade those tokens in, people. Get us a token back.
That's what I did.
It's all doable. You can also become a patron of the show and pop a couple of jars into our tip jar, which we are super grateful. And you can even buy us a Ko-fi, whatever the hell that is. I still don't know, but yeah.
It's like a one-off Patreon thing.
Oh, okay.
Like an ongoing thing. It's just like, here, you go, one-off payment.
Perfect. And finally, you can help us out by going through the webpage, edgeofempire.co.uk or Edge of Empire podcast, edgeofempire.co.uk.
Yeah.
Go through the links on our website to purchase your wargaming toys through Element Games. And if you're feeling particularly loving and caring, we also have Element crystal codes with Element Games, as we all do. And when you put this into the code bit, when you're finishing your transaction, you get double the amount of crystals, and we get the singular amount of crystals.
We do
on our accounts. Mine is CHR211. Graham's is GRA2794. And Mr. B's is MIC440. We also have affiliate links with the Outpost, which is a super cool place in Sheffield. And that's it. Those are all of the beggings and pleadings and stuff like that. So next episode, I said, be a 3-man show again, and we will be bringing a look at the FAQ that was released last month now. So and offering our thoughts and opinions on that. And there's some big stuff with tanks in that, so it could go either way with a certain gentleman. Who knows?
It could.
We'll have our usual new releases, what we've been up to, and State of the Union. Perfect. Absolutely. Right. Well, take care, everybody, and we will be in your ear holes and on your peepers on YouTube very soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Love and snuggles.